Your dreams evolve, and with committed support, they thrive. American Family Insurance.
Your American dream is out there, so go get it. Dreams don't come easy. They're gonna make you work for it. So put on your work boots, fire up your laptop, pour yourself a cup of coffee, because there's gonna be some late nights. American Family Insurance is your American dream insurance. We protect your home, your car, your business, and the most valuable thing you will ever own. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
American Family Insurance.
Nothing.
Your American dream is out there, so go get it. Dreams don't come easy.
Check. Welcome to Snohomish Veterans Memorial Stadium in downtown Snohomish, Washington. Scott Oshman here, Todd Elvig, the five-tool player. And we are here for the early game here of Snohomish welcomes in the Marauders of Mariner. And you're seeing the Snohomish Panthers under the direction of Kai Smalley, the third-year head coach, come out for this early game tonight here on Friday night. This is just the last game of the season, but it has big-time implications. It'll set up the third and fourth seed heading into the playoffs. So Mariner, on the Mariner side, if they finish third place with this win, if they win, they'll be third. Fourth with a loss, but they cannot finish higher than third. And so they can't be knocked out of the playoffs. The third place, and Snohomish I think will be in as well. Steve Willits will be coming in from Sound Live Sports Network and Everett Herald. So he'll be coming in to join us here in just a few minutes. So this is just the last regular season game for Snohomish and Mariner here as 4A Wesco. But there are some playoff implications here. Both teams 4-2 in division play, 4-4 overall. And the Wesco 3, number 3 coming out of this game, that's why it's so pivotal, will play at the SPSL South number 1 Graham Kapowison, 8-0 by the way, 4th in the state, so not a great thing for them as you see getting ready the National Guard coming out for our national anthem here at Snohomish Memorial's Veteran Stadium. Tonight on STSPN, we got a doubleheader. First, this Snohomish Mariner game. Then at 8 o'clock, we have the Wesco Championship game. Arlington Eagles, the high-flying Eagles, come in and face the Wesco 3A South champions, Glacier Peak. And that should be an exciting game. Scott Oshman will have Tim Boyle here and the whole STSPN crew. But we will go down. We'll step away for a second. This is the American Family Insurance pregame show, Western Conference football on Snohomish Times Sports Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium in downtown Snohomish, the early Friday edition here of Western Conference 4A football. Snohomish and Mariner, their last game. We were talking about the implications, basically swapping each team. If they win, they're playing for that third and fourth position in Wesco heading into playoffs. Now on the Snohomish side, for Panther fans, last time they went to the playoffs was 2011 with a loss to Federal Way. So Panthers with a win would be the number 3 seed, number 4 with a loss. They can also finish, which is kind of interesting, and we're getting ready for Panther football here as the Panthers get together there in the center of the field. But the Panthers now, this gets interesting. They can finish number 2 with a win and a Monroe loss to Mount Vernon, which is incredibly unlikely, but nonetheless makes it a little interesting. And again, we talked about for the Mariner Marauders under first-year head coach, an old friend of Wesco, Mark Stewart. He was an assistant last year, and the longtime, very successful coach for Meadowdale Mavericks. Went down and took another job briefly down in the city. I think it was Garfield, I want to say. Steve Willits will be here in a minute, and he can correct me on that. But Mark Stewart, great collegiate player at the University of Washington, great guy, very stout on the defense, and you can kind of see that with Mariner. But his first year as the head coach, again, a 4-2 record in division play, and overall 4-4 as you see the Snohomish Panther flag. Again, reminder, we have a doubleheader tonight, 5 o'clock game here, Mariner and Snohomish, but then we will kick off the Wesco Championship, number 1 4A team Arlington against the number 1 3A team Glacier Peak. And that one could be interesting. We will talk a little bit about that maybe throughout the game. But the history here, no doubt, last year, these two teams played at John Goddard Stadium, and it looked like Mariner. First of all, Snohomish came out to an early lead. Then Mariner took the control. They were down, I think, 21-41 heading into the fourth quarter, and then there was 21 unanswered points, and it came down to a really interesting situation where Kai Smalley had to make a decision very close to the goal line to whether go for the tie or the touchdown. And I think we have a clip of that. Maybe we can show that, or we'll wait. But nonetheless, they got a penalty. They were going to kick the extra point as we headed off here. And long story short, Mariners held them off and won as the kickoff now goes out of bounds. But they were all ready to kick the extra point, tie, and then possibly go into overtime. But Mariner was called off sides, half the distance of the goal. So then head coach Kai Smalley, in his second year at that time, decided, which was smart, he had Boomer Vari, hey, I'm just going to punch it in here. Unfortunately, the exchange on the handoff between Kobe McDaniel and Boomer got fumbled. Mariner got the ball, and there it is. Mariner goes on actually to the playoffs, and Snohomish loses by 1 point. Joining me now in the booth, the voice of the Mountain Lake Terrace Hawks, also the voice of Wesco and North Sound, Snohomish County, all prep sports, Steve Willits.
Wow.
Steve, how are you?
That's a huge introduction there.
Wow, well, I worked on it all day.
I'm sure you did. How are you?
I'm good. 1st and 10. It's an early edition here, and it's the Wildcat right up to 26, and Snohomish all over that. And that's the heralded Darius Brown, who comes into tonight, Steve. He's kind of you know a lot about Darius Brown. He's one of their keys.
Oh, he's more than one of their keys. He might be the key lately. I think he had over 100 or 230 yards rushing just last week alone. And he's having a big season so far. And not surprised to see him get the ball in the first play. Maybe a little surprised that it was Wildcat, though.
Yeah, 62 carries, 432 yards. Here's second. They only give him a loss of 11. And the Panther defense all over Mariner here in the first series, just the opening quarter here.
Yeah, and I hate to interrupt you here, Scott.
No, go ahead.
These are, noticing the stats here, these are for 3 games.
Yeah, I know. So
Darius has got to be right around 1,000 yards on the season.
Probably.
He's had a huge year. He's had multiple 100-yard games. I think he had 150-something yards just 2 weeks ago. Like I said, he had 231, I think it was last week. So he's definitely a focal point of their offense.
Again, the only statistical reference or database we have, that's Seattle Times, and it's sketchy sometimes. Here's J.J. Walker, though, rolling to the left, finds an open. It's intercepted by the Panthers at the 50, and he's going all the way down. He's got a blocker for J.J., and all the way. Is it a pick six, Steve?
It is not. He was shoved out right around the 5-yard line, I believe. Looks like they're going to mark him down at the 1.
Ty Roth, the junior, starting this last game off very nice with 10:31 left, and Walker there kind of had a, I don't know, it was a difficult pass, difficult play, but
huge mistake by Walker. Walker did a nice job to scramble away from trouble. He started to roll out to his left, looked briefly and saw a man running down the field, looked to be open, but Roth just kind of played possum a little bit, waited on it, and as soon as he threw that ball, it was right in his path. All he had to do was stand there, catch it, and run down the sideline.
So Snohomish, what a great opportunity here, right on the doorstep at the 1-yard line. Senior quarterback Kobe McDaniel. You have the sophomore Keegan Stitch. And they fake the handoff. They go over the top, and it's touchdown Panthers. Right to Cole Bride.
Nice job by Snohomish. They had a 3 running back set in the backfield there, and everybody thinking they're just going to try to power it right up the middle. Had everybody faked out. Bride just gets into that little area right near the back goal line, wide open. All McDaniel had to do was float it over the defense.
Great play call there by Kai Smalley and the staff. I think everybody was looking run up the gut there, and Kobe been doing a great job, as you saw the replay here, an exclusive on STSPN. 6-0. A stinger here, as we'll see what this setup is. We got some substitution now quickly being made by Snohomish, Steve.
You'd think you'd know if you were on the point after touchdown team, right?
And the kick is up, and the kick is good. Taylor DeVries puts it through. So with 10:27 left to go, Snohomish on top 7-0. You're watching Western Conference football presented by Gilpin Realty on STSPN. Go away.
Your American dream is out there, so go get it. Dreams don't come easy. They're gonna make you work for it. So put on your work boots, fire up your laptop, pour yourself a cup of coffee, because there's gonna be some late nights. American Family Insurance is your American dream insurance. We protect your home, your car, your business, and the most valuable thing you will ever own. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
American Family Insurance.
Scott Oshman along with Steve Willits and our executive producer engineer Todd Elvig here, Veterans Memorial Stadium. Just opening first quarter, Mariner had received and had the first series, had a couple plays, and on the first pass play by Walker, the quarterback, he threw almost a pick six down to the 1-yard line. Ty Roth with the INT and runs it back, and here we go. That'll bounce out of bounds there around the 27-yard line. Again, reminder, STSPN, this is our first game. Steve Willits along with me. You're used to the doubleheaders. This is new for us over here at Veterans.
Yeah, you guys aren't accustomed to these nice 5 o'clock starts, and apparently the fan base on at least Mariner isn't accustomed to them either. As it looks a little thin right now.
Well, you know what the traffic was like.
Yeah, I just came up from South Snohomish County. It took me about an hour to get here, and at least it's not raining for the time being, knock on wood, for not only the folks that are trying to get here, but also for those players out on the field.
Yes, indeedy. They will start at their own 35-yard line. And they looks like they run to the right side. Again, not much there. The first series, the Panthers were just all over the run and not much doing there as well. 2nd and 9, they're going to give them a yard for the Marauders.
Yeah, they're almost waiting on Darius Brown to get that ball right now. As soon as he touches it, Snohomish is putting 4 or 5 guys right out in front of him, and he's not finding much room.
2nd and 9 from their own 36. And this time they swing Brown on the left side. Far side fight, breaks the tackle, now makes a juke to the outside. There's a Umpqua Bank first down, and Darius Brown, first time we've seen him get loose.
Well, that was Anthony Smith.
Oh, that was Smith.
Yeah, so that was number 6.
I apologize.
No, he's another guy you're going to see a lot of, and
Yep.
much bigger back as far as height anyway. He's, well, I say much bigger. He's 5'10". Brown's more like 5'5". So it's a little bit of a change-up, and we know Smith can do some damage. Saw him play a game against Mount Lake Terrace this year in which he had 4 touchdowns, including a kickoff return, I think, and a punt return.
Big talent there. Walker keeps it himself. He's got some running stats. He crosses the mid-stripe into Panther territory the first time. 7-0 Snohomish. First series was a pick down to the 1-yard line if you're just joining us. If you're driving down, Todd Elvig handed me a note, you're driving here and you're not supposed to be watching football while you're driving. You can listen on our good friends Fox Sports KRKO 1380 AM, Tom Lafferty, the gang down there. 2nd and 6. This one is Brown. He'll get a couple up the middle. He's still going on his feet, and he kind of pile drives the pile to a first down.
Yeah, interesting formation there. Once again, J.J. Walker, the quarterback, lined up in the backfield. They snapped it directly behind him to Brown. Walker was the lead block on that play, and he did a nice job of stopping one of the Panther defenders in his tracks, and it gave Brown just a little bit more of an edge, and then Brown did the rest to get that first down.
Official timeout on the field. Not sure what's the issue. There's some substitutions. Snohomish, Steve, it's been talked about and documented well. 0-4 start, but they played the best of the best, and then they have, boy, talk about the proverbial rally cap. Boy, coming in hot here, and they've taken care of it. 4-2, as there's flags before they got that one off to Brown, but they had to win those games. It's easy to be 0-4 and just kind of give up, and they have not.
Yeah, they're 0-4, and as we talked about on the radio the other day when we were doing our weekly show, not only were they 0-4, but there's the last 2 losses in that 4-game losing streak. They lost to Lake Stevens and Monroe by a combined score of 103-7, and they really weren't in those games at all. And for them to come out and to do what they've done the last few weeks, and really I don't know the exact numbers, but they're averaging right around 40 points per game over the 4-game win streak. It's ridiculous, and so they're really coming alive right now, and they're going to be a tough team to beat tonight.
There was a foul on that play, 5 yards back, so 1st and 15. Now they hand it off again to Smith, and he gets up a little bit back. He'll be at the 41-yard line. So Brown and Smith, they do it all. They hand it off. They're talk about the 5-tool player.
Yeah, and we're going to see what I would presume, or we might be seeing a little bit of the pass game now. We've only seen one attempt so far, and it didn't go very well for Mr. J.J. Walker. So let's see what they can do here right now on this play.
8 minutes, 11 seconds in the first quarter of our early edition. Walker now takes it. He's going to try his second pass. This one he gets off. Oh, it's in and out of the hands of number 23, and that he's going to want that back. Tyrone Jones.
Defended rather nicely, by the way, by number 15, Tyler Keeley. The only problem is Tyler Keeley plays for Mariner. I think he ran into his own wide receiver on that play and knocked the ball loose. And that's what happens when you throw a pass in the vicinity of 2 different receivers, and I think both of them thought it was intended for them and didn't work out very well for the Marauders.
3rd and 11, trying to get to the 30. Now Walker rolls to the near side. He's got a wide open man. What a fingertip one-handed catch there by number 6. And that's going to be good for a first down. Boy, Anthony Smith.
Yeah, Anthony Smith running the out route, and a nice job by Walker to get it out to him. And like you mentioned, nice job by Smith. Had to kind of bring that in on his fingertips while running full board towards the sideline, caught it, and then managed to get upfield for a few extra yards.
Also important for Walker to get a couple completions under his belt, as the first series didn't go like he wanted to. Had a pass interception all the way down to the 1-yard line, so that's good for him.
Not only did the series not go for you, you gave up 7 points, and really you need to make a statement here on this drive, and they're doing so this far.
They get it to Brown. Brown tries to make a move, but kind of catches his feet, and a lot of red jerseys in his way there, Steve, and Bryce Lipke, one of the Panthers.
Yeah, Lipke makes the tackle, I think, as well as the almighty turf monster. Brown planted his feet, tried to cut back, and just went backwards. And once that started happening, there was nothing but the ground.
Your home stadium now with the new fancy turf and the
Stadium,
lights
yeah.
and the LED lights.
We've got the referees mic'd up now.
That's true. I heard that.
About 3 weeks ago, the referees started giving the penalties over the PA system.
Our other broadcast friend and also good friend, here's Walker at 2nd and 9, rolling to the far side, stops, delivers it to Smith. It's caught, but it's at the 21-yard line. A good tackle there, and it'll be short of a first.
Well, apparently we know who Walker's favorite receiver is so far, as Anthony Smith catches another one right over the middle. Like you mentioned, he didn't pick up the first down, but he did certainly get them a little bit closer to it, as it looks like we're going to see a 3rd and 5 coming up.
Peyton Plucker on the tackle, and that's a name you're going to hear all night long. So 3rd down and 6, 7-0 Snohomish. Mariner now threatening. This is Brown. Darius meets Johnson, who will call a lot on offense as well. Number 24 for the Panthers. What a great athlete Josh Johnson is, the junior.
Yeah, he met Johnson, and he met about 6 of his friends, too, as there was a whole ton of guys right there. And Darius Brown, not a big guy, so when he starts getting pounded by 6 or 7 guys, I'm sure he's feeling it a bit. Tough kid, though.
4th and a couple here. Not really a tough decision unless you've got a big leg on a kicker. They will go for it. In high school football, just under 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Scott Oshman, Steve Willits, and it's over the head of Brown. Now he's just going to have to improvise, and lots of red shirts, the Panthers, with a big stop on 4th and 2, and almost gave them better field position.
Well, it gives them much better field position. They lost 17 yards on that play. I mean, if you kick the field goal, at least and you miss it, they get it at the 20. Even if you threw an incomplete pass, it would have been at the 22, and now it's at the 38. So that's a rough go for Mariner. The last thing you wanted right now, after you had a little momentum going for the last few minutes, you give the ball back to Snohomish, and they don't get it in that bad a field position.
No, starting at their own 37-yard line. Kobe McDaniel, boy, the improvement there. Now he's looking for something. Rolls out, now he's going to tuck it and just get as many yards as he can. He's pushed out of bounds there around the 48-yard line. But a nice gain.
Great job by McDaniel. Rolling out to his left, was carrying it in his right hand, then finally tucks it away with his left, puts his shoulder down, and actually might have picked up an extra yard in the process and picks up enough for a first down.
And that's an Umpqua Bank first down for the Panthers. 1st and 10 from their own 48. Now he gets it to Stitch. First time Stitch has carried it up through into Marauder territory at the 46-yard line. And, boy, Keegan Stitch was outstanding last year as a freshman, and he is just piling it on this year.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns last week alone, I believe, and showing a lot of progress, and he's only going to get better.
Great down and distance, 2nd and 5 in the shotgun. McDaniels flips it out to Stitch. Stitch, though, nothing can do there. Great. Sniffed it out there, well played by the Marauders.
Yeah, tough play for Stitch. I mean, he really had nowhere to go once he caught that ball. Trying to get him out there in the flat behind the line of scrimmage, and Mariner read it beautifully, put a stop to it, and made sure that they kept him from getting much further up the field.
3rd and 6, Mariners, if they can get a stop. Mariner, if they can get a stop, that'll give some, well, there's a flag. That we're not sure what's happening there. Snohomish saying, waving very confidently that it's on the Marauders there. I was just about to say this could be a big confidence booster if the defense holds them and they get the offense back.
Well, and they still have 3rd and 1. It wasn't enough for a first down, so the defense still could hold them here. It's going to be a little bit tougher of a task, though, now.
4:43 left in the first quarter. McDaniel, he gets it, fakes it to Stitch, over to Responte. Riley to the 10. Touchdown, Panthers. What a play. 42-yard touchdown pass from McDaniel to Responte.
Yeah, great play, and once again, very similar to the touchdown pass earlier in the quarter. You've got a short yardage situation. The defense expecting a running play, put themselves in a formation accordingly. And what do? You put Esponte right over the middle, finds a seam right down the middle there, McDaniel does a great job of getting it to him in stride. Nothing but end zone in front of him.
Rojas on for the extra point. And it's been all Panthers in the early going with 4:38 left to go in the first quarter. Veterans Memorial Stadium. That's a McDaniels Do-It Center touchdown. So was the previous one. That one bounces off, and it's no good. Oh, my goodness.
Not only bounces off, it bounced off the very front and on the top, and it almost looked like it was going to try to crawl over. Happens to fall right forward, though, and does not go through the uprights.
Well, it's Captain Obvious, but you just never know when you miss an extra point when that might come back and bite you.
Exactly.
We will keep it right here, or are we going to take a break? We'll take a quick break. 13-0 Snohomish. All right, it's been all Panthers here as they kick off, and the Mariners trying to get some momentum. Smith kind of been the do-it-all guy so far. Good run back, passes the 50, and they will start in Panther territory. And Mariners put a couple good drives together. They just keep stubbing their toe and not able to capitalize, and they're down 13-0.
Yeah, well, they put one good drive together anyway. The first drive was a two-play drive that resulted in a touchdown down to the one. But
they've had pieces and parts.
Yeah, this is their third drive of the game coming up. So really, they're in this game. I mean, there's 4:31 left in the first quarter. We're not that far into it. Both of these teams have shown this year that they can put up a lot of offense. You put yourself in a hole with 13 points, but you can certainly come out of it.
They get it to Brown off the Wildcat. He goes up the middle. Again, big offensive or defensive line right there. Big number 77, which again, of course, always the roster game is not on the roster unless they've added it.
That mysterious player who came on late in the season, right?
But he's a great player. I like him. I apologize to his family. Mariners 2nd and 7 at the Snohomish 44. JJ now flips it to Brown. He's got a little bit of space out there to work, but very well played and chasing him down for the Panthers is number 19. Again, that's good old Mr. Plucker.
Peyton Plucker, 6'1", 205. Good size and good speed there, too. That's not an easy guy to bring down when he gets out in the open. Once Darius Brown gets a little bit of momentum heading downfield, he's quick and very fast, and if Mr. Plucker able to wrap him up and hold him from getting that first down.
So 3rd down and 3 here for Mariners. See if they can get a first down. Plucker goes to block, and now 22 gets the ball. He's not going to get the first down. Tried a little bit of a deception move there, and that's Jonathan.
Have fun with that name, huh? Manpoilper?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the public address announcer to see if I can just, can
I buy a
use
vowel?
his, yeah.
I like it better when Walker, Smith, and Brown carry the ball.
Yeah, man, Piapper, I don't know. I'm not, again, we should put just a disclaimer up on the screen, Todd, to just apologize to all family members for the pronunciations.
Go with Manpoilper.
Okay, I like it. 4th and 1 again. They had 4th and 2 in the last series. Here's Darius Brown. Good penetration by the Panthers, and he's not going to make it. He's pushed out of bounds, and the Panther fans and players are jacked up as they should be.
Yeah, second consecutive possession, which has ended on a turnover on downs, and at least they got the ball in Brown's hands this time. Last time the snap going over his head. Just not a lot of push up front, and they try to get a sweep out to the outside. Snohomish was ready for that too, and now they've got the ball back.
the running game for the Marauders, trying to figure out if they can get inside, outside. Nothing's quite working. Some play action pass. And now Kobe McDaniel, the senior, back to work. Over the middle, incomplete, trying to go for Johnston. And give it 2nd and 10. Good coverage there by number 34, Jalen Esterholt. Or check that. I'm looking at the wrong roster. I'm great. These early games, boy.
It's first quarter, right?
Yeah, right.
I'd like to blame the rain, but we can't even do that right now.
I know. Eric Knockbay. How about that?
Knockbay sounds good.
2nd and 10.
Bride in motion. That one's easy.
That is good. And he gets it to Stitch on the right side. He'll get a couple. As we get warmed up here for the early edition of Western Conference football here on STSPN, presented by Gilpin Realty. Scott Oshman, Steve Willits, the 5-tool player. Jess McLean on our camera for game number 1 of a doubleheader, Steve.
Gotta love it. Playoff football, too. Not a playoff game directly tonight, but this is for seeding, so this should be fun.
They get it to Stitch, the right side. This time he gets a little bit more progress, but it was a good stop for Mariner. It'll bring up 4th down.
And what do you do here? You've got a 4th and 5, and it looks as though they're going to keep their offense on the field. I don't think there was any question about that either. As soon as he was tackled on that play, Kobe McDaniel was looking towards the sideline like, give me the next play, let's go.
Yeah, I think Kai Smalley, again, the way his defense is playing right now, early in the game, probably he has some confidence, and we'll see. I mean, again, Kobe or McDaniel could punt it.
Could still see a quick kick,
and that's exactly what he'll do. Becoming ever more popular here in the high school game, especially. Rolls down, and what happened there?
I thought we were going to get that penalty. Bride trying to push the Mariner football player into the football. The Mariner player was trying to stay clear of it. I think that was number 10 on the play, Parker Bressler. And as soon as Bressler made his way towards that ball, Bride, I don't know if he thought maybe the refs weren't looking or what, but at any rate, not a smart penalty right there, as that ball would have been down on the 18-yard line. Not a bad kick. You're willing to let them take it inside the 20, and you just undid that a little bit by giving them a few extra yards.
1:06 left in the first quarter here. Snohomish 13, Mariners 0. And a rough beginning here for the visiting Marauders. This one they'll get the penalty, and we see as the officials trying to clarify and make a decision of what they want to do.
Yeah, I've never quite seen that play before, to be honest. You think after all these years you'd see just about everything, but is it a personal foul? Is it just a blocking penalty? I don't know if it's a 5-yard or a 15 or what they're going to do.
It's probably what they're discussing again.
I would think so.
And they're talking to the captains for Mariner. As we're waiting, let's look at the replay and see if we can catch that, what actually happened there, as they're kind of figuring out. Now we get the signal from the white hat. Oh, it's declined.
Interesting. I'm not sure if that's – so obviously it wasn't a personal foul because you wouldn't have to decline that.
Oh, they would have had to re-kick, maybe. That's what I'm hearing from the public address announcer. But here you see, and there's 10. Yeah, it looks like a block in the back and just kind of a silly, as Parker Bressler was trying to get there.
You can't really call block in the back, though, because at that point they're on defense.
Boy, a couple yards and a pile of dust, as they say.
Pile of turf.
Yeah, as
pellet balls or whatever you want to say nowadays.
Not much going in the running game. Menpapier. How about that? Menpapier.
I like it. Look at that. We nailed it. We think.
Menpapier.
I mean, you and I are a little bit older than maybe some of our audience, but, you know, the old days when Joe Thisman changed his name to Theismann for the Heisman run. You know, these guys can change their pronunciation a little bit, right?
We'll see that later in the Arlington game a little bit, Benny. 2nd and 7, Brown, and he is hammered in the backfield. I tell you, it's like Snohomish knows exactly where they're going to be.
Not only do they know, but they're getting through the push on the offensive line, too. Their defense really doing a nice job of winning the battle in the trenches, so to speak, right now. And at this point, Snohomish has the advantage there, and consequently, they have the advantage on the scoreboard.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. Snohomish going into the second here, 13-0 Western Conference football. This is the 4A version, Snohomish Mariner, presented by Gilpin Realty on STSPN. We'll head to the second.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Back here, start of the second quarter. Scott Oshman, Steve Willits, and it has been all Panthers in that first quarter. And we head to the second.
Sounds like a familiar tune for the Panthers in the last month or so.
They are on a roll. Sometimes, as they say, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. Mariner, though, trying to get something to go. Walker now passes downfield. He's got an open Smith. He gets it at the 48. Great catch and a big Umpqua Bank first down all the way to the 45 of the Panthers. That's the biggest play of the day for J.J. Walker.
Yeah, and that one was dynamite. Walker doing a nice job. I had to get that in there at some point, right?
11:52 into the second.
He rolls out to his right, though, and Smith wide open. He almost had to make him wait for the ball for a moment, but Walker doing a nice job of putting it over the head of the two Panther defenders that were on Smith, and Smith very patiently waits for it and gets it down to the 45.
Smith, by far the leading gain receiver right now. It's been all Smith all the time, and they run it up the gut to keep him honest, I believe. And that's Brown on the carry.
Oh, they've been very honest so far.
Yes, they have.
They've been waiting for it with bated breath. It's kind of what Panthers do, right? They pounce,
That's right.
They wait for things.
How could you not just put it in the air at this point?
Well, Darius Brown, you've ridden him all year long. I mean, you want to make the other team adjust to you at some point, and I suppose if you're Mariner right now, and let's be honest, I mean, they haven't been stymied the entire game. They did have a nice drive where they moved it down the field. Actually been on this side of the 50 twice now, or 3 times going forward.
Brown to the right side. He'll get a couple again. That the edges are being held very well by the Panther defenders, and that's going to leave another 3rd and long situation.
The Mariner able to get the ball down the field. It's once they've gotten on this side of the 40 that they've started to struggle a bit. They've had 2 4th down situations they haven't converted. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5. So unless they can get something going here again, this might be the 3rd straight drive. They have to make a very tough decision here in a moment.
Playing again for that 3rd and 4th spot heading in the playoffs as Walker goes to the air one more time. It is caught, and that's an Umpqua Bank first down. The air being very good.
Well, and Snohomish very upset on that play, and rightfully so. I don't know if you noticed it there, Scott, but about 4 different Marauder players took off early on that play. I think the Snohomish players were waiting around for the whistle to blow.
Yeah.
It never happened, and it was an easy play for the Marauders. I guess that's why if you're a player, you play until you hear a whistle. That's what they teach you when you're young, and it continues right into high school.
Absolutely. Keel on the reception, number 15, their big receiver. They targeted him once in a previous series. That time he gets the catch. 1st and 10 now on the Panther 32. Again, Brown nowhere to go. Again.
It stood up there, and the referees very wisely blowing the whistle once they realized that forward momentum had been stopped. And, not a bad play, 3 yards, somebody will take it, but you need more than that.
Second, they actually gave him 4, 2nd and 6. Plucker on the tackle again for the Panthers. We should just set an automatic Plucker call on defense.
Panther Peyton Plucker.
Yeah,
say
just
that past 10 times, huh?
Put that recording on a loop. J.J. Walker fakes it now. The Wildcat. Here's Brown. Going to try this side. Slices, dices away, has a little bit, gets the 25 out of bounds. One of the better runs there, and again, Plucker, of course, taking him out.
Yeah, nice job by Brown with the footwork there. Makes a quick cut to get by the first 2 or 3 defenders that were coming towards him. Gave him a little bit of open space, and he was able to do something with it.
Now they're close here at 3rd and 1. And again, the short yardage has been issues, as you alluded to. A couple series before, they had 4th and 2, and then a bad snap, lost 17 on that. Had 4th and 1, couldn't get it. So 3rd and 1 on the Panther 23-yard line. JJ going to get it now to Smith. Smith's been the guy, keeping on his feet, but the pile pushes him back. I don't know. See where they mark it. Always a mystery here.
Looks as though the refs might have given him a fairly decent spot. He's inside the 22-yard line. Where we're at, it's going to be very close.
I mean, are they going to measure? Obviously, they have the best vantage point.
They flipped it over to show a 4th down, so apparently they're going to – oh, now they are going to say measure.
Big Carter Cole for the Panthers, 6'2", freshman, Steve, at 6'2", 250 pounds. He's a big boy down there, was first to the pile on that stop.
6'2", 250. So the freshman, you're not getting shoved in lockers when you're
No.
a 250-pound freshman.
We always talk about it. I just feel bad for the parents. I mean, I can only imagine the fridge and the amount of food to burn that kind of energy at a freshman. That is awesome. They measure. We haven't gotten a lot of measurements this year, and it's a first down.
There we go.
An Umpqua Bank first down, nonetheless. That's a big momentum for Marauders. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've seen them down in this territory already tonight, and we look up at that scoreboard. It's still showing 0. They need to get something out of this. At the very least, they're doing a nice job of keeping the Snohomish defense out on the field.
Still very early. 9:36 left in the first half. 13-0 Snohomish. Plenty of time. Walker fakes the handoff, rolls right, looking downfield. He's got an open man. Kale, touchdown, Marauders, right there. Boom. Just on cue, Steve Willits.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were expecting, right? A 22-yard rollout. No, very great play there. I mean, a little bit unconventional as Walker rolls out to his right. I was watching Akil from the get-go there, and he just kind of faded into that right corner. Did a nice job of kind of almost lulling the Panther defenders to sleep there for a brief second, and that's really all you need. He got himself open, found some open space, and Walker did a nice job of putting it in an area where the Panthers couldn't recover in time to get it.
Yeah, got a little bit behind the double coverage there and just waiting for the ball. Kaczynski is what I always wait for the guy. No. And, you know, the other funny thing is on the roster here, just to peel the curtain back, and we'll go to break here in a second, but the Marauders, I got to talk to them. They need to make their font a little bigger for us old guys. It's 13-7 on Western Conference football, presented by Gilpin Realty on Snohomish Times Sports Network. Is it?
It's got a T in it.
Oh, you got a better printout.
Do I? Oh, this, yeah.
All right, we're back here. Mariner has a little life. They kick off. It's taken at the 8-yard line by Johnson. Johnson skips up to the 40 and then pops off a tackle and gets to the 45. And a big run back here to start this series in the second quarter.
And that's a name we haven't really called much yet tonight. Johnston has been having a huge year for the Panthers. Really been McDaniel's #1 target all season long in terms of the passing game, and shows off his speed and his abilities there a little bit with a nice return.
And he has made some spectacular catches over the season and even last season.
And only a junior.
Yeah, he is a terrific athlete. So 1st and 10 from their own 45, up 13-7. Kobe McDaniel, the senior, eludes the rush, but not for long, and he's brought down. And that'll be a big loss.
Well, the Panthers getting a little cute there. I don't know if you noticed they were running a diamond set with 4 receivers out to the left, a couple of which were offensive linemen. I thought maybe they were setting up to throw a bubble screen. The problem is when you do that, you're not putting very many guys right in front of your quarterback to block, and Mariner had the numbers, and they made them pay for it.
Loss of 9 on the play, 2nd and 19 now for Kobe McDaniel. Now he passes over. Bride gets it, and he's whipped out of Browns there, and they'll just get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Nice job by Bride to fight forward for a few extra yards on that play. I think kind of when you design that play, you hope that maybe you can get past the defender entirely, but give a lot of credit to Bressler. He held on, and give a lot of credit to Bride also, though. He picked up an extra 3 or 4 yards after the play.
8:37 left in the first half here. 3rd down and 10 to go for the Snohomish Panthers. Went to the playoffs last time, 2011. Here's Johnson, and well defended there by Mariner, and he'll make a few, get into the 49-yard line, leave him 4th and 4. And I don't think this is even a hesitation. You go for it here.
Well, 4th and 5, very similar. Oh, actually, they're bringing out the punt team.
Are they?
I was just going to say, it's very similar to where they were last time. I think where were they at the 45, so 4 yards further up. And it was 4th and 5 as opposed to 4th and 4 this time, rather than even trying to trick Mariner into thinking they might be going for it. They're just going to bring out the punt team.
So the momentum shifting here a little bit early in this in the second quarter. Oh, no, it's a fake. But a fake that is not going to pay off. They hiked the ball. That was kind of an interesting hike right there, actually, to number 86, Gavin Bullock.
You know, the thing I didn't like about that play, though, is it almost looked as though the center kind of whipped his head back after he threw it to Bullock, and it almost gave Mariner a heads up that what was happening. McDaniel, who was lined up as the punter, did a very nice job on his part to fake it, but I think the offensive line in the center didn't quite sell it as much as maybe they should have, and the Marauders, they were right there to stop it.
Our cameraman, rightly so, got faked out a little bit, but he adapted quickly. Jesse McLean. So Mariners take over here on downs. 1st and 10, 2 punts in the last 2 series for Snohomish, and J.J. Walker. And it's a hike right to Brown. Brown up the middle, still spinning on his feet. They're going to whistle it dead. And the other, I'm sure, theory is let's just keep pounding it. We're going to wear them down a little bit. We just got to keep at them. We got to keep doing what we do.
Yeah, interesting play there by Snohomish, though. The way they were moving the ball, I mean, they were picking up some yardage. I would have maybe thought Smalley would want to just show a little more confidence in his offense and say, you know what, go get it, guys, as opposed to trying to get too cute with it. But one of those plays where when it works, we're sitting up here and we're praising them.
Yep.
When it doesn't, we question it.
2nd and 5. Nice gain there on 1st down. Walker in shotgun as usual. This time Smith gets the handoff, and he stood up, fumble. And a Snohomish Panther, number 72, picks it up, and just like that, the Panthers get it right back. It's number 75 for Snohomish, Brad Raymond. 6'3", 185, the junior, at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I didn't see who actually stripped the ball, but whoever it was, nice work there. As Smith got stood up, and this is what they teach these guys when they're playing defense. If one of your players has a player stood up, have somebody else come in there and attack the ball, and that's exactly what happened. They picked it up and ran the other way.
So Kobe McDaniel, hopefully he didn't do on the sidelines. He's right back in. He didn't want to rest too much, and that time it's Johnson. Hopefully he found his helmet if he took it off. So Panthers right back at it.
Might have been Panthers' strategy. They knew they were going to cause the fumble, so why not just give them the ball right there at the midfield, right?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I'll roll with that one.
2nd and 3rd on the Mariner 44-yard line. Now he gets it off to Stitch, and he's kind of swung up, lost his feet a little bit, but he's close to a Panther 1st down. And they'll mark him right near it as he kind of Gets a little bit there around the 34.
Just a little bit short, maybe about a half of a yard.
13-7, 6:04 left. McDaniel stitch again up the middle. This time he drives the pile through for an Umpqua Bank first down.
You got to think if you're Umpqua Bank, you like these games,
Oh,
right?
you
a
love
lot of
these
offense.
games.
You don't want the 7-3 game.
No, you do not.
Give that game to the other banks.
Stay tuned for Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. We'll go through all the replays. McDaniel, here's a play, it might be on it to Johnson.
Whoa.
There it is! Touchdown, Panthers, in our McDaniel Do-It Center from Mr. McDaniel.
Mr. McDaniel and Mr. Johnston, wow.
And that's the play I'm talking about. That kid has made spectacular catches all year long.
I was just about to say that Scott, just a few moments ago, you mentioned that Johnston has made spectacular catches, and I haven't seen all of his spectacular catches, but that's as good as anything I've seen on video from him this year. Just a nice job. It's one of those situations where, and this is where having a quarterback and a receiver that know each other well helps. McDaniel having confidence in Johnston, knowing he's got a one-on-one situation, just kind of says, you know what? Big fella, you go up and get it. I'm going to put it where you can catch it, make a play, and that's exactly what he did.
That's what we kind of refer to the whole Jimmy Graham thing. That's what they talk about with the Seahawks. Just put it up, let him make a play. As now they look like they're going to go for a 2-point conversion here, 19-7. They missed the extra point, and now it's a timeout, Snohomish, and we'll take a Fred's Rivertown Ale House timeout on the Snohomish Times Sports Network, 19-7. How many yards? Back here in downtown Snohomish, a big 33-yard pass play from McDaniel to Johnson for the Snohomish Panthers, and now looks like they're going to go for two as Johnson heads out to the near side receiver location. Josh Johnston. Got to make sure we get there. Hey, I don't know what more you want me to say. The guy's, I'm putting him on my fantasy when he gets to the pros already. I mean, the guy is spectacular.
Can you put him on your fantasy team now, or do we get a high school?
I don't, probably somebody has, but.
Everything else is legalized these days in terms of fantasy sports, right?
Seems so. We can debate that. I'm confused why it's not gambling, but, you know.
Problem is half the Wesco coaches never call their stats in, so it's hard to figure out.
That's right, we have a stat problem. Handoff, and Stitch gets in for the 2-point conversion, dives in, and that'll make up for the missed PAT. 21-7 now with 5:48 left to go in the second quarter.
Well, we talked about this being a game of momentum, and 2-3 minutes ago, Mariner had the ball at midfield with a chance to go down and take the lead, and all of a sudden, one play later, Anthony Smith fumbles the football. 3 plays later, Snohomish puts it in the end zone, and what looked like it might be the Marauders heading towards their first lead of the game, all of a sudden they're down by 14. And, you know, again, it goes back to the fact that both of these teams can put up points, but really you don't want to let Snohomish have easy points. They're going to get their 40 or give or take, so why not make them work a little bit harder for it? And when you give them the ball and you give it to them on this side of the 50-yard line, boy, they'll take that every time.
And the head coach for Mariner, his first year as a head coach, but been a head coach for many years, Mark Stewart at Meadowdale, and he's known as great play. If you're going to get beat, you know, you tip your cap and say, you know what? it was a great pass, and it was a great catch, and you do what you do.
Oh, yeah, from a defensive standpoint, I'm sure Stewart is more frustrated when there's a 10 or a 12-play drive. When you throw it up to a receiver like that and he just goes up and gets it, like you said, not much you can do.
This one's going to be taken around the 22-yard line for Mariner, and decent return there. Number 7 gets across the 40 to the 42. And
that's Merrick Corpening.
Merrick, yep.
A linebacker, so it's those guys don't get the ball every day. They'll take it when they can, and he gets himself a nice 20-yard return on the play.
Senior, they'll start at their own 43-yard line. A big fumble, as you talked about. And again, playing for the 3rd or 4th seed here heading into the playoffs, which is a daunting task, as Brown gets it, and he gets a nice hole past the 50, and he'll leave a nice 2nd and short.
So that means you think Monroe's going to beat Mount Vernon tonight, right?
Well, I talked about that earlier.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Anything can happen. That's why they play the games, but come on.
Bus blows a tire. Traffic is bad. They can't get to the stadium.
JJ Jerome? Here's Brown coming out, and there's Plunker. That time he just needed to go north-south.
Yeah, not towards us here towards the booth. That's exactly what he did. He went the wrong way and doesn't pick up any yards on that play.
They're actually going to give him a loss. They were at 2nd and 1. He's going to lose 3 yards. Now 3rd and 4th here with 4:51 left in this first half. 21-7 Snohomish. You just never know who they're going to hike it to, right? This time Walker, but there's whistles, so they'll stop the play. And, yes, okay, I am saying that Monroe probably has a decent chance over Mount. The mighty Bulldogs just are struggling this year, but
they haven't been very mighty. Yeah.
Yeah, but 3rd or 4th, it's still talk about. It's still the playoffs. It's still exciting. It's still kids. Graham Kapowison, if you're the number 3 team out of Wesco, they're not too shabby. 4th in the state, 8-0. If you're the number 4 team, you get to play Gig Harbor, 8-0, number 3 in the state poll.
And unless I'm wrong here, I think Gig Harbor is playing Bellarmine tonight. And if Bellarmine were to beat them, they'd get Bellarmine. Bellarmine actually snuck into the top 10 this week.
Walker gets it off. It's incomplete. And the foul there previous there was on Mariner, so 3rd and 9. That'll be incomplete, and 4th and 9. Here they had a great first down, nice field position. They had 2nd and 1. They give it to Brown. He gets tackled behind the line, and now a penalty, and you're sitting at 4th and 9.
Yeah, and you'd like to think if you have it 2nd and 1 on the other team's, on your side of the field, that should be 4-down territory. You should have a chance to get that first down with 3 straight plays. When you go backwards on those first 2 plays, though, you don't leave your coach much choice. You have to bring out the punt team, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And consequently, Mariner are about to give the ball back with the 14-point deficit.
4:25 left here in the first half. Mr. Smith, there's a high snap. He gets it. Now see if he'll get the punt off. No, he just hucks it. Downfield, is it? No, it's broken up. Nice play again. That's Johnston.
Easier said than done. I know when we're up here in the booth, it's we don't have the pressure of having 250-pound players chasing after us, but really, Smith had enough time where I think he still should have probably kicked that ball. Obviously, like I said, he's on the run. He's got 2 guys chasing him. He had to make a very split-second decision, and unfortunately for him, rather than picking up any yardage off trying to kick it on the run, gives Snohomish the ball back on the 43-yard line, and guess where they started the last possession? Right there on the 43-yard line.
McDaniel fakes the handoff, now goes over the middle to Responte, in and out of the hands, incomplete, and good job there by Smith as he pats him on the back. At least it looked good. I don't know what he said to him, but Responte, again, he's had a tremendous year as well, and that one just incomplete, 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. So pick your poison, Graham Kapowison or Gig Harbor.
Yeah,
most likely. Here's McDaniel who runs it up, and he'll get just a yard.
Yeah, Graham Kapowison, I think in the last AP poll was 5th in the state. Gig Harbor's 3rd. Either way, you're going to be traveling for those games, so really not a whole lot of difference. I would think, obviously, don't know these teams very well, but I would think I'd rather take the fifth seed than the third if I'm one of these teams.
3rd down and 9, 3:47 left to go in this first half. The senior McDaniel, now he's getting pressure, rolls right, dumps it down, tries to get it to Plucker, in and out of the hands. And that's one I'm sure Plucker wants back.
Yeah, it might be the first thing that we've seen Plucker do incorrectly all night. He's been on fire, at least on the defensive side of things, and I think that's the classic case of a player watching the ball come towards him, wanting to run before he catches it. Plucker had maybe one eye downfield, one eye back towards McDaniel, and neither eye on the ball.
They're going to go for it, or at least it looks now. Again, they might do the little quarterback punt here, 4th and 9 from Mariner 42, and that's exactly what they'll do. It bounces, takes a Panther roll down to the 5-4. We'll see if Mariner can make a 3-minute and 30 run here and see if they can score. Presented by Gilpin Realty. We'll be back right after this on STSPN.
Well, Edmonds Community College offers smaller class sizes and more personal attention from faculty, so you get more focused attention on your learning and your education.
I think I could try a few things out here.
All right, we'll see if Mariner can make something happen here, starting from their own 4. And wrestled down is Brown. I'm not sure if he got a yard or so. It looks like it's just 2nd and 10.
I don't know where they're going to spot the ball, but I do know who made that tackle. His number 19 got up celebrating again. Plucker all over the field right now.
If you're Mariner, Steve, again, this isn't the first game of the season. We've had a long season. They know what they're doing. They've been in this situation before. They obviously have relied on Darius Brown as the rain starts coming in. But, do you try and change some things up? Do you try and –
I think part of the problem right now for Brown is that he's going up against a very – we'll get back to that in a second.
Yep. Walker, this one's complete to the 11-yard line. They gave him a loss on that last play. That's a nice throw and catch to Tyrone Jones.
Going up against a very stout, large defensive line for Snohomish, who's just really stuffing him at the line. And again, Brown's not a big guy. He's not somebody who's going to break off of tackles or put his shoulder down and run you over. He needs to be out in the open field. I think you either try to figure out a way to do that, maybe with a screen pass of some sort, or Anthony Smith's another option too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him play this year, and I've seen him have huge games. Bigger in terms of size than Brown. He might be somebody you want to give the ball to.
Walker fumbles the snap, and now he's just got to get on the ground as quickly as possible, and he'll be assisted by number 43 to do that. But again, that's kind of been the way it's gone the first half. They do something well, and then they stumble.
Well, putting that ball on the turf doesn't help. I mean, this sounds kind of funny, but on 3rd and 2 at your own 7, you're happy that you got a 4-yard loss there, because the alternative there was you almost gave the ball to Snohomish right inside the 5. We've seen the ball snapped over the punt returners or the punter's head. We've seen it snapped over the running back's head in a running formation,
Yep.
and now we've seen it snapped at their feet. And the job as the snapper is to put the ball right in the breadbasket, give it to them so that they can make a quick play on it, not snap it over their head, and not snap it into the ground. And it's cost Mariner tonight.
And there's a timeout on the field. We'll take a Fred's Rivertown Ale House. Have you been there since we talked last?
I have not.
All right, well, maybe tonight's the night. Come on back. The band is coming on. It's pouring rain. And
does Fred's River House deliver up to the booth? Ooh,
I don't think so. Can we get
can't do
Chewy
that.
to make a little traveler kit for us?
That's the place with the nachos, right?
The Asian nachos. And they might. Are we going to do that spot? Now we've wasted so much. Actually, we still gave him a pub.
We are going to do in the spot.
Yeah, we kind of did the spot. It's all good. 4th and 10. This is what punters really enjoy. Smith, the guy who does it all, and gets a high fly ball. Not anything he's going to want to brag about. Poor Smith there is at the 20, and he had somebody in his grill.
Gavin Bullock, and Bullock might have even gotten a hand on it.
He might have.
If he didn't, he altered it to where it was a bad kick. I mean, that was not on Smith. That was on Bullock. Just making an outstanding play and forcing him to kick it probably in a direction he didn't want to, much quicker than he wanted to.
and good awareness there. I talk about punter. I talk to punters. You hate being deep in your own end zone where you're getting, you just know the possibility of something bad happen is much higher, and it's always tough. So here's the Panthers here, 1:47 left to go in the first half, up 21-7. Here's McDaniel. This time he keeps it, rolls, well plays a flag on the play. Didn't deceive number 11, Liam Carson for Mariner. Or, gosh, I keep looking. Tim, and that's at Kokoski.
Well, it must be his brother because
must be.
Oh no, they're not even spelled the same.
No.
Kokoski and Kedzinski.
Yeah. Well, if it makes anybody feel any better, which it probably won't, my last name is spelled pretty much incorrectly, and so I get it pronounced wrong all the time. Does that make anybody in the room feel any better?
I'm guessing if you're number 11's mom or dad, you're not feeling that much better. Right
no,
now.
And I'm so sorry. If they want to come to the booth and let us know how you really say it, that'd be great.
I'm hoping they're at the game. They should be watching.
I hope they are.
Or somebody's here for them.
And usually, again, we try and get down and talk to people and hear them say it at 5 o'clock game, and didn't happen. McDaniel rolls right, looks left, gets it over. It's complete, but just right there is Mariner, number 34, Eric Notchve.
When that penalty pushed them way back, that was 1st and 25, and that was for no gain there, so 2nd and 25.
2nd and a mile. McDaniel goes down, trying to get to Bride, but incomplete. Minute 13 left to go in this first half.
Well, you've got a 3rd and 23 at the 34. You need to get down to the 11. I'm thinking that Mr. Johnston here on the near side, number 24, he's lined up all by himself here on the right.
Yeah,
we've seen him go up and make big plays before. I would think if I'm Kobe McDaniel, I would want to just fire it up there and let my best receiver try to make a play.
Parker Bressler on him. McDaniel goes back. Looks like that's not what they want to do. A little center screen, but right there again is number 34 for Mariner, Mr. Notchve, and he takes care of business. And with a minute 3 left, it looks like Snohomish will give Mariner another try.
And boy, I'll tell you what, Mariner, the last 2 possessions, they've lined up in punt formation. They've had 1 snap go bad to where they had to throw an incomplete pass. They had 1 kick that was rushed, and they got off a 17-yard punt. Snohomish has taken the ball over at the Mariner 43 and at the Mariner 21, and it looks as though they're going to have nothing to show for either one of those drives. So really, if you're Snohomish, you've got to be a little frustrated because you had a chance to really put these guys away or at least take a 3-score lead into the half. You haven't done it. If you're Mariner, it's given you a little bit of incentive to feel like you're still in this ball game because you could be a lot further behind right now, and maybe you go in at halftime going, you know what, we're only down by 14. We've given them every opportunity. Now let's get things rolling.
As they like to say, an opportunity for improvement.
Opportunity indeed.
1:03 left, 21-7. Snohomish here. Last game of the regular season, our doubleheader on STSPN. We'll have Arlington Glacier Peak at 8 o'clock as McDaniel back to pass. He's going to launch it down, double cover Johnson, and he makes the catch, but it might have been out of bounds. And that's the call. Again, another spectacular play by Johnston as you see the replay. Oh, I don't know. Can we slow that down, Todd? Come on, 56 seconds? Because look at his one. He's just got to get one in.
I thought he was in when I watched it from the live. I mean, he looks like his foot might get in there.
What a catch. Oh,
maybe out. Okay,
maybe
give
out.
the referee a lot
that right foot, and they have a great vantage point. Obviously, they're there.
As a former receiver, not on Johnston's level, by the way, but as somebody
come on, nobody knows that. You could have said.
But I was just going to say, you want credit for something like that. That's phenomenal.
Walker out, and he gets it to Smith, and he'll get a first down, an Umpqua Bank first down for Mariner with 51 seconds left. They have all 3 timeouts. See what they can do.
Interesting. I do like the call by Snohomish, though. They've decided, you know what, a minute to go in the half, let's just throw the ball up to Johnston and go for it. I mean, You're punting from the 36-yard line. You're only going to maybe gain 15, 20 yards anyway. You might as well take a shot.
And we'll see a lot of that in the later game. Arlington plays those odds a lot. Walker in the pocket. Now he gets it over. And see if was it caught? I have the...
Looks like it was out of bounds. I think it was incomplete.
The wonderful Veterans Memorial pole right in my line of sight. 47 seconds left in the first half, 21-7. And Walker back to throw. Now he lets it go. Incomplete. Again, trying to go for Smith. And Lipke was on his tail for Snohomish. So 42 seconds, 3rd down 10 from their own 47-yard line. See if they try and get another, just go for it one more time. They have 3 timeouts left. Jake Norman for Snohomish 84 on that last play. Now he's getting chased. Walker just has to get rid of it. He does, and he throws it out of bounds. And it'll be 4th and 10 from his own 47. And Steve Willits is going to go down and try and get one of the coaches or something at halftime. Going to try and get head coach of the Snohomish Panthers in his 3rd year, Kai Smalley. Jess on our camera, be ready to try and find Mr. Willits there down to interview Kai Smalley before he gets into the tunnel. 34 seconds left, 4th and 10. Looking like they're going to punt, and it's Smith who does the punting as well. This time he gets a dandy off. It's taken at the 5-yard line. Cuts back. Sponte will run out of room, and he gets down there at the 24-yard line with 23 seconds left to go, and the offense heads out for Snohomish. Stay tuned for our Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. Great first part of the halftime. A feature will show all the replays of the first half. I have a feeling Steve Willits and I can convince Aaron Lammers of the Everett Herald Prep Sports to come over and have a chat at halftime. And we'll hear about this game, other big games going on around Wesco Prep Sports, and as well maybe do a quick preview for that championship tonight as he does McDaniel for a couple yards, keeps the clock going. As we're going to have that 8 o'clock game, is there another timeout? Or they're going to let it roll? They're going to let it go. So that's the first half in the books. Snohomish 21, Mariners 7. Keep it right here as we try and get Kai Smalley, head coach for Snohomish. He's having some instruction there. We'll try and get a couple of words with him with Steve Willits. It looks like he's going to a Mariner. Where's he going? Steve Willits from the Sound Live Sports Network, our partner, also does a lot of work on STSPN. He's down there trying to find somebody to talk to. Our Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. And Mark Stewart there talking to KRKO, and maybe he's going to try and do that. (21-7) again. Snohomish kind of came out. Mariner had the first drive, and J.J. Walker threw a interception, almost like a pick six down to the one, as we'll go down to Steve Willits.
Okay, guys, I'm here with Mariner coach Mark Stewart. And Mark, not the first half you probably wanted, down 21-7. What do you need to do to get the offense going a little bit in the second half?
Well, we need to clarify what we have to get done up front in terms of our rules, and we got to bring a little energy to our blocks and stick to our blocks. And running backs got to hit the hole, and we got to hang onto the ball.
How are you feeling about the defense so far? Those last 2 drives, you gave them the ball in pretty good position. Your defense held.
Our defense has done a nice job all year, and those guys are playing well. And thank for our defense, we're still in. We got a shot to win this game.
And a little bit heavier rain than you've been accustomed to seeing this year. Any worries about this and how it factors into the second?
No, we just got to take care of the balls like anything else. We are in Washington, and it does rain. So,
thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Always great, head coach Mark Stewart there. And don't go away. Halftime show here. Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. 21-7. It's been mostly the Snohomish Panthers. This is presented by Gilpin Realty. Western Conference Football on STSPN. Don't go away.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back to the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. We have a special guest here, Aaron Lammers, the Everett Herald. But now, not only do the community and the world know your writing, but they also know your voice through the podcast with our friend Steve Willits and David Kruger, and as well on KRKO 1380 every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Aaron Lammers, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back again.
Absolutely. What's your impressions through one half of play here, the big 4A, 21-7 Snohomish up?
Well, as I was just talking to you off camera, this is the first time I've seen Snohomish in person this year. I'm very impressed by them, especially their quarterback, Kobe McDaniel. I've been seeing the statistics he's been putting up each week, but seeing it in person is really impressive. He throws a good ball. Keegan Stitch, really good running back. You didn't know what to think about them when they start 0-4 on the season, and now they're just getting things rolling. And on the same end, I think you didn't know what to think about Mariner when they were 4-0 in league and they hadn't really played anybody. And now we see, first impression to me is Snohomish is clearly the better team.
And just obviously STSPN here, Snohomish Glacier Peak. I want to talk a minute. You've had a chance to cover and talk and interview Kai Smalley, the third-year head coach. First year that Kai will go to the playoffs. They haven't been there since 2011 before he got here. Talk a little bit about getting to know Kai. And again, he walked into quite a difficult challenge.
Yeah, he did. He was. I think he was down in Utah when he got the job, and I actually think, if I remember correctly, Rory kind of told him.
Yes.
Rory Rosenbach kind of told him about the job, and he applied for it and wound up getting the job. With all the history that this program has had, to come in with the cupboard kind of bare, I think it's been tough for Kai. But you see, in 3 years, he's kind of slowly built it. Last year, they got things going a little bit towards the end of the season. They were just a point away from the postseason, and now this year, they're there. They're in. They're probably going to be a 3 seed if they win this game. Kai's really kind of progressively got this program rolling, and it's good to see that this community has that program back in, and now with Glacier Peak they really have 2 really solid football programs. Yeah, we played the replay of last year's again. Just heartbreaking for Snohomish fans, that loss 41-40 in our pregame, and also just coming back here to this interview. And these teams, I have a feeling this is going to get interesting by the end of the day here, by the end of the night. The other thing is the Snohomish, like you said, the program, and Kai Smalley building it. He's building a program. He's building depth. So you see more kids on the sideline over the last 3 years. How far do you think they're going to hit a juggernaut? Obviously, the odds makers, if there were one, are going to say, the number 3 playing Graham Kapowson, not a ton of chances there. But how do you think of this 4A? And again, we're going to turn it over again next year. But overall, Snohomish, Mariner, how do you think this thing's going to play out even for next year? As far as the postseason this year, with Snohomish is a wild card to me. I'm probably not going to pick them to beat a Graham Kapowson, but at the same time, like, this Snohomish team now is completely different than the Snohomish team we saw at the beginning of the season. Completely different. Yep. The way they can move the ball, the way they do things defensively, the way they're offensively they can run the ball and throw the ball. I kind of feel like they're one of those teams that if they would have maybe won that game against Monroe earlier in the season and get that 2 seed and host a game, they're a team that can make a little bit of a run. It's going to be a lot tougher for either one of these teams because, like you mentioned, I think that one of them is going to get Graham Kapowson, the other one's going to get Gig Harbor. Right. That's a tough matchup. It's pick way. Your poison. Yeah, exactly. We're waiting now. Steve Willits down on the field trying to get Kai Smalley. Aaron Lammers, our special guest here from the Everett Herald. Again, in the picks, what are you third? What are you? I'm dead last. Oh, come on, Aaron. I'm getting closer, though. Okay. And I think, Tom's got a couple different than us this week, so I think David and I are going to make a little jump. Oh, good. It's a tight race, though, right? It is. One of the tighter in history? Tightest one I think we've ever had. Usually I take some swings early in the season. I haven't done that this year. I've kind of tried to stay in it, so. Well, we love your writing, love your work. Again, nobody covers prep sports like Aaron Lammers, like the Everett Herald, obviously. Got a great partnership. We talk all the time. KRKO 1380, SLSN, Sound Live Sports Network, the Snohomish Times Sports Network. And thank you for coming in. Thanks for having me. You're going to be here all night for our second game for you guys, Arlington GP. Yeah, you guys want me for Arlington Absolutely. GP? I'll be back. We'll talk to your publicists, your people, your representation, see if we can we'll pitch in a couple nickels, see if we can get you back here. Thank you, Aaron Lammers from the Everett Herald.
for joining us at halftime. We'll step away on the Action Jackson. No, we're not. We're going to go right down to Steve Willett standing by with third-year head coach Kai Smalley.
I'm here with Coach Kai Smalley for Snohomish. Coach, 21-7 halftime lead. Done a great job on shutting down Darius Brown so far. He's had some huge games lately. What are you guys doing differently tonight?
We're just making our reads correctly and getting to the ball. So far, our linebackers are flowing well, and they did a great job this week of studying and doing their homework and knowing what to expect.
Got to ask you about that first touchdown. You get an interception from Roth, putting you guys on the 1 yard line. We were thinking Stitch was going to go right up the middle with it, and you guys decided to throw a pass. Were you planning that all week if you got down on that goal line?
Well, I think everybody would expect that Stitch would get the ball there, so the best thing to do is not give it to him.
And now one thing you might be a little concerned about, late in the second quarter there, you got the ball in good field position twice, both off of Marauder errors on their punt team, weren't able to put it into the end zone. Any concern going forward, and did you make some adjustments for that for the second half?
Well, we always have to make adjustments on those kind of things, and it's I was just telling the kids, we can't come out and score a couple quick ones and think that they're just going to stop. I mean, this is a team that they're in this position, same position as we are for a reason. They're a good football team, and we got to respect the fact that Coach Stewart's a really great defensive coach, and he's had time to make his adjustments, so we had to make ours, and I'm very confident in what we got going.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Steve Willett. That's third-year Snohomish head coach Kai Smalley. We'll be back with a little bit more as we get ready to start the third quarter action here. 21-7 Snohomish on the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Well, Edmonds Community College offers smaller class sizes and more personal attention from faculty, so you get more focused attention on your learning and your education.
I think I could try a few things out here and realize what courses I'm good at or what I'm not good at and what I should major in.
Just about to start the second half here on the Snohomish Times Sports Network. Another lucky special guest here, as this is just one of two tonight on STSPN. The first game with Snohomish just about ready to start the second half. Joining me in the booth is the defensive coordinator for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, Steve Hannon. How are you, Steve?
Feeling good right now.
Yeah, because you haven't played yet, right?
That's right, yeah.
For these double headers, when you go to Edmonds District Stadium and the games before you, do you like that, or do you like sitting? Does that kind of keep your mind off, or does it matter? You don't really care?
Yeah, I think I'd rather just play at 7 like we always do, but I think if you have to play a doubleheader, I'd rather play the 8 o'clock game than the 5 o'clock game.
Well, we'll see here. Steve Hannon joining us here as Mariner going to kick off to Snohomish. I was kidding him before we got on the air here that, if the coaching thing, which is going very well, by the way, if that ever doesn't work out or you want to quit, I think the booth is a natural next thing for you to do. What do you think about this game real quick? What are you seeing so far?
Well, I'm actually I think Snohomish has improved since we've seen him week 1. I don't think there's any question about that. But the Johnson kid, the receiver, is fantastic.
He's phenomenal.
Really, really good. I'm a little nervous for them, though, to be honest. It felt like they should have been up a little bit more
Yeah.
than 21-7.
And that's what Steve asked Kai Smalley. You didn't get a chance to hear, but that's exactly what he asked him.
Yeah, you kind of got the feeling that it should be a 28. I was hoping there right at the end of the half that they might stick one in to go 28-7. I would have felt a little bit better about it, but this drive is going to be really important for Snohomish.
Yeah, Jaden McClure there with the run back in Snohomish, and you talk about improvement. I mean, even last year we saw it, but this year he has just really blossomed. That senior quarterback Kobe McDaniels. They start 1st and 10 at their own 27. Get it on the right side a little bit, and again, this is part of the chess game here. We saw in the first half with Mariner as well. You got to keep them honest, so to speak. See if you can find a hole, and they got 2 really great running backs.
And they're going to go no huddle, it looks like, here Snohomish is. They got everybody in the backfield, so this is a power set for them.
Just 1 yard given, and so brought up 2nd and 9, and they just right up the gut again. And that was number 43, Lipke, there with the carry. He gets some spot carries here and there and leaves them at 3rd and 5 here as we start the second half. Snohomish up 21-7. Our special guest, defensive coordinator for Glacier Peak, which is our second game against Arlington, Steve Hannon. And we'll talk about that game, Steve. If you're a Glacier Peak fan, oh boy, here comes the high-flying Eagles later tonight as he hands it off. No, he keeps it. McDaniel gets up to the 36-yard line, but just short of a first down. And I tell you, did you get any sleep last night preparing for the Arlington Eagles?
Well, we got the preparation done pretty pretty early. So, yeah, I got some good sleep last night.
Good.
But the first 3 nights I didn't.
4th and 1 on their own 36-yard line. Again, Snohomish. Now Kobe looks over. He's under center again. Did not see that in the first half.
Wow.
They get it again, and they're going to get an Umpqua Bank first down. And again, they give it to Lipke.
Well, that's taking a chance right there. I mean, you're in your own side of the field on the 35-yard line with 4th and 1. Anything could happen, and you don't want to give the ball back to Mariner right there. Thankfully, that worked out for Snohomish. But, hey, this is a serious drive, and they're
Now, what's as a defensive coordinator when that happens to you? I mean, you just that kills you, doesn't it?
Well, it's 4th and 1. Oh, here comes Johnson again.
Here's Johnson, one-on-one coverage. Oh, he in and out of hands. I don't know if he was going to be in bounds. One-on-one coverage, which is dangerous, incomplete. But we were talking before, Johnston, what a spectacular receiver.
Really good. I mean, the catch he made down here for that touchdown was outstanding. And he caught another one that was just barely out of bounds.
Yep.
Kid's really, really good. It looks like he's improved a ton since we played him, and he caught a couple against us, too.
2nd and 10 now from the 39. They went for it 4th and 1 and got it. And again, very different offensive set here for Snohomish. McDaniel gets it. He's going to get taken down for a big sack. Nobody fooled there on that one.
That's a drive killer right there. I mean, you're running the ball pretty successfully, and you get that first down, and now you're going to be 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20 even, it looks like.
Corporating Merrick for the Mariner Marauders, and you heard Kai, well, I don't know if you heard, but Kai Smalley, he knows Mark Stewart. He knows the type of defense of adjustments and the defensive quality of his coaching and understanding of that side of the ball, and he knew he was going to make some adjustments. Now 3rd and 21. Luckily, you do defense. You don't have to come up with a 3rd and 21 play. McDaniel back to pass. Johnston gets it at the 30, trying to make a guy miss. Doesn't. Good tackle there, and they'll be well short of a first down, and they're going to have to punt.
Well, Kai's exactly right. Mark Stewart's a smart guy. I coached with Mark when we were at Snohomish together.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a really smart guy and a great coach, and he's just gotten better as the years have gone along. And I think that was the right call for Kai right there. Let's run a little tunnel screen, see if we can't pick up a few yards. You might bust it, you might not. But let's get a little more room for the punter.
We'll get this kickoff. Then I will ask you, we'll get this punt, and we're here with Steve Hannon, the Glacier Peak defensive coordinator. I want to ask you about Arlington a little bit more, as McDaniel does the punting duties as well.
Dangerous punt right there for Mariner.
Exactly. Plunker looks at it around the 37-yard lines, and that's where Mariner will keep it right here. So Kalahar for Arlington Eagles. Again, they got, it's a 3-headed monster, 4 or 5-headed. They have Nutter for the running game. They got Bear. They have, just prolific receivers. They put up big numbers in the air. What are you keying on tonight?
Well, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
They're really scary. they can score a lot of different ways, and they do score a lot of different ways. And so, we got some things that we think might work against them, and we're trying to get some heat on the quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to say, but that's a high risk,
absolutely.
As Mariner now with their first series of the second half, and was that Brown? It was. He gets the carry. Nice gain on first down. Give him 4 or 5 there.
Both these defenses have done a great job stopping the ground
yes.
game. They've both been hurt in the passing game, but the ground game, they've been pretty stout. I've been pretty impressed with both these teams.
Steve Willits now joins our conversation. Any hard-hitting questions you want to get the Glacier Peak defense coordinator?
Curious a little bit because I know a lot of times when you see teams that go with a 4-receiver set a lot, 1 or 2 of the receivers are maybe a little bit weaker than the other 2, but really you've got an Arlington team where you've got Selgren,
yeah,
Bass,
Selgren, that's who I wasn't.
Bayer, Winter. I mean, they're all just solid wide receivers. From a defensive coordinator standpoint, how do you prepare for that? And do you try to move your best defensive players around, or do you just kind of go with your scheme and plan on making that work?
Yeah, and that's a great question. Any team that comes out with 4 wide receivers against you got to cover them all. Even if one's really good and they don't throw to one, you still got to put a body over all of them. So I guess the question is, do you put your Richard Sherman on there with Des Bryant?
Just going to ask you that.
Yeah, and sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is maybe. So
with them, they have like 3 Des Bryants,
that's right?
4 Des Bryants.
Yeah. So for tonight, we're gonna play it left and right, and we're going to try to do the best we can. Might see us in a little more nickel than we normally play to get an extra defensive back in the game, but then again, now they got a running game with number 30 that can run the ball too. So,
and I think one of the problems one of the concerns that maybe I have from a standpoint of watching you guys play this year a little bit, really Westco 3A South didn't do you guys any favors because there aren't really any teams right now that are running that offense, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's certainly not as effectively as Arlington does it. Yeah.
So you really haven't seen it this year. The question becomes how will you do it when you go against it live?
Yeah.
2nd and 6 here. Darius Brown on the right side, slicing. He kind of knifes his way through and gets very close to a first down. And as we were talking here with defensive coordinator for Glacier Peak about his game coming up 8 o'clock right here on STSPN against the Arlington Eagles, should be on paper a very interesting chess match for all the way from the coaches on down to the players.
Yeah, their coaching staff is a good
Taylor,
staff. He is a really smart guy, and he's got all kinds of stuff. When we went through his film, usually what you get is, we'll watch this play for Mariner come up here and all.
And I know we don't, Rory sometimes talks to us, sometimes doesn't. Just depends on what, so we'll have to ask you offensive. And Brown, no problem, right on the left side, a Umpqua Bank first down for Mariner, and they want to get Darius Brown going. They've been living or dying by him, and they need to hit him hot.
Well, it looks like he hit the hole a little bit harder there than we've seen him earlier in the game. He's been a real jittery bug type of player, and I think Coach Stewart just said, hey, listen, there's a little sliver there. You're a little guy. Get in it, and let's pile this thing forward.
Back to your game. The other thing that stood out, again, having not a lot of time to prepare, but special teams for Arlington they do some interesting things. They've had some big plays, and they've scored some points as Walker now in trouble. Scrambling, eludes a tackler. Great job. It's tipped up. Is it intercepted? It is. Guess who? Johnston. JJ. I tell you, he has just got a nose for the football.
No. They're saying no now.
Oh, this reminds me of the great Elledge catch from years ago that was an actual catch. Let's go to our replay right here, Steve Hannon. Here's the pass. Tipped. Oh, and it's hard to see because the Snohomish players.
Boy, it hits him high up in the chest. It looks like he should have it.
See if maybe we can slow it down. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but it looks like he had plenty of time to get there. And, Johnston doesn't miss many balls. So
I have to assume he caught that one.
I do, too. The referee, the official was right there. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But
I don't like it.
Tough play. 2nd and 10, and a big relief there for head coach Mark Stewart and the Mariner Marauders.
Hey, we were talking about Arlington and their offense. Usually when you get through there, you get 4 or 5 of their favorite passing plays, and Arlington's got like 30 of them.
Yeah. And they're similar as Brown. Now right side finds a crease. Now he makes a move past the 35, and that's Darius Brown. Boy, he is quick as a fiddle.
See, this is what made me nervous at halftime for Snohomish, is you would think that they have a 28-7 or even 35-7 lead, And it's 21-7.
Yep.
Now, Mariners starting to get something rolling. If they score here, it's a one-play game.
Well, this is what happened last year. Snohomish was down going into the fourth, and they scored 21 points or something unanswered, and barely, Mariners barely escaped there. Big Umpqua Bank first down, all the way down to the 30-yard line, and they get it now to Smith. Smith trying to turn the corner, a flag on the play. He'll get down to the 25 or 26. We'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, I think I saw someone grip someone there on the edge of the line of scrimmage for a holding penalty against Mariner.
Typically is a holding as you press the edge there.
Right.
Defensive coordinator for Glacier Peak Grizzlies, Steve Hannon. This is our own little unique version of Hannon's Huddle as Tim Boyle is making his way to the stadium. I know you miss him.
I do. It's no secret.
But talk about special teams. Did you guys talk about that? Was that in the meetings this week?
Yeah, what Arlington does is they make you prepare for that stuff. So they pile up in a big honeybee deal before they kick the ball off, and they all run toward the ball like they're going to onside kick it, and sometimes they do.
Yeah.
So we got to get squished in, and now we got to get ready for that, which we've never had to before. So that spends more time on your special teams, which gives you less time for offense and defense, right?
Yep.
So that's a good job that they do, and then they run the swinging gate on their PATs also, so we had to prepare for that.
Too, as a defensive coordinator, is it a little different when the kicker is also the quarterback? Because Drew Callahar does handle the kicking responsibilities for Arlington. Does it change the way that you guys prepare for punts and field goal attempts?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. We have to be ready for him to throw the ball as well as kick it.
They go to Brown, 1st and 20 now. He spins out of a tackle, but his good friend who he just met tonight, Plunker's there, and he doesn't like what he sees, and so he puts him down, and they still got second and a long way to go.
It's funny. It's second down and what is it, 15 now? Or is it 20? Second down and 20. And you think Mariners not in a very good spot here, but when they've thrown the ball, they've been successful. They just have to get forced in to throw it.
We talked about that in the first half. They had some success. Walker now going over just like we talked about. It's complete to the 28, and he'll go down to the 20. He'll make up quite a ways there. Number 23, Tyrone Jones, had a pass or two in the first half. So they're chipping away at it here.
That was a good 10-yard gain right there. It's going to be 3rd and 7, which has been actually pretty manageable for Mariner, more than 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3 where they try to run and Snohomish stuffs them. When they've been forced to throw, they've been somewhat successful with it.
Again, I know you don't talk to the offense, Steve. You don't know anything about offense.
I don't do
Walker,
anything that they do.
We ask this all the time. Walker now runs to the right. Now he's got space. He might just take it himself. The big block, and he's going to get a first down, but there's laundry on the field.
God, Mariner had a wheel route out right there, too, and the wheel was wide open by the pylon, and the quarterback was just on the run.
Yeah, he had Tyler Keel. You're talking about number 15 for Mariner?
Who it was? Yeah, I couldn't see the number, but it's a receiver standing by himself down there in the end zone, but the quarterback's on the run, so he can't see him. But
holding on Mariner.
Boy, that's a killer.
And that kind of one of the questions as I was looking at Arlington, boy, they do. It's part of the byproduct of a fast, no-huddle, spread, run-and-gun offense. They have a lot of penalties, and it's hurt them. And that's been kind of, you take it with the Glacier Peak over the years when they had the run fast. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But they have had some untimely penalties this year. It hasn't hurt them too much, only one loss with Eastside Catholic. But go ahead, Steve.
How much do you look at that one loss, too? I mean, obviously it's the best team maybe in the West Coast. I would imagine a lot of times as a coach you want to look at games in which the teams lost because you want to see what teams did against them that worked. But when it's Eastside Catholic, is that just a completely different animal?
I watched through the game. I didn't bother to go through and mark it all up and prepare it just because I knew that the athletes are so different. You're really comparing apples to oranges. So we looked at it, but it's nothing that we changed to do that they did. We're going to be what we do, and most teams should do it that way anyway.
Mariners Walker, 3rd and 19, just throws it up. It's a jump ball and a Panther, and they're going to for sure call this one an interception. The second of the night, number 13, Ty Roth, who's the guy who started this ball game with almost a pick six down to the 1 yard line. Roth is getting greedy now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we're watching the replay a little bit.
That's a jump pass right there.
Yeah, that's just the old game of 500. You throw it up and see who's going to come down with it. But a costly turnover for Mariners. Snohomish and Kobe McDaniel get back on offense.
Look at that run defense again. Mariner did a good job with that run defense. I've been really impressed with their guys up front tonight.
Stitch, the ball carrier, nothing doing there. We'll see if they spot him even a yard or so.
And we know what kind of back Stitch is.
Yes,
he busted
tremendous.
A couple long ones against us, and Mariners done a good job keeping him corralled tonight.
He was special as a baby last year, and in the sophomore campaign has just even gotten better. I mean, and we got, it's one of the, you wish he'd go early because you don't want to see him for 2 more years if you're a competitor.
Yeah, that'd be nice if the college football did the same thing as the NFL. They can get out of here early.
It was like Devontae or Shepard for Meadow. I don't know. There was a couple kids. It seemed like they were there forever, starting as a freshman. McDaniel back. Has time.
There's a wheel route.
Now he goes out, and it is Roth, and he catches it on his helmet, and he gets to the mid-stripe into Marauder territory. A circus catch for Ty Roth, but he hasn't found a ball tonight he didn't like with 2 interceptions and a big catch there for a big Panther Umpqua Bank first down.
That is tough for a defense to handle. When you got the guy running out at the sideline, you have the outside backer in the flat, and he's taught to stay there in the flat. Then the guy turns up the sideline deep. The safety is looking toward the trip side of the field. He's going to be wide open if the outside backer doesn't run with him, so it puts that kid in a lot of conflict.
1st and 10 now, right at the 50, as Stitch will reach forward for a gain of 4. Again, our special guest here, Snohomish Mariner 21-7, 4 minutes, 15 left in the 3rd quarter. Steve Hannon, the Glacier Peak defensive coordinator. This is your 8th year as well with the staff, correct?
Yeah, we were there from the beginning.
And that game coming up at 8 p.m. or at least 20 to 30 minutes after this one concludes right here on STSPN. And fun to have Steve up in the booth. McDaniel hands it off to Stitch on the left side. And again, just 2-3 more yards.
But successful, right?
Yep.
That's positive yards, and now it's going to be a third and a 4, and they're already on Mariners' side of the field, so you got to start thinking this is probably 2 down territory. So I like those 2 run plays. Let's run another one at them and see what we can get.
Do you ever ask Rory if you can just run some offensive plays? You guys can switch headsets for a couple minutes, or?
I've never asked him to actually call plays. I've given him suggestions in the past.
Wait, after the plays or before?
Well, right before. I say
okay.
This would be a good time to run the ball, Coach. Let's get that clock wore down. But he doesn't listen to me very much.
3rd and 4. McDaniel back to pass, looking, purveying the field, goes over, and of course Johnston catches it at the 31. Josh Johnston having another great night. An Umpqua Bank first down. The Panthers driving on the Marauders.
That was a heck of a play by the quarterback. He had a helmet right in his chest when he got rid of that. That is impressive.
Great blocking by the kids up front. Again, we never talk enough about the kids up front on both sides of the ball.
Oh, they're the key. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Mariner 31, back to pass again goes, and it's caught. This time, Raleigh Responte with a great catch with a Mariner player right on his back, and there's a late flag, some extracurricular perhaps.
That's what Tim would say.
That's right. He always says that. Savchuk, number 20 for Mariner there, kind of in the middle of it, and they'll discuss it.
That play right there is becoming very popular at every level of the game of football. You're going to see it a lot from Arlington tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Where they fake that to the running back really quick, and the quarterback pulls it and hits a slant with that number 3 receiver or the number 1 receiver. And it is tough on a defense because those inside backers are read and run. So they hit the line of scrimmage, and it's a slant right where the linebackers left. They just dump it right to him. It's an easy pass, an easy catch. And it's a great concept and very difficult to handle for a defense.
Well, we talked about, just last week, again, congratulations, haven't talked to you. Well, I think I did see after the game that Edmonds Woodway win, and one of the most I can talk about it's great because the heralded, the outstanding receiver for Edmonds Woodway, Woodard, is it Woodard? Number 7. He is just, he's really just good. So good. And I tell you, Big Boy McCoy put on one of the biggest hits I think I've seen in our 5 years of doing this. And I can say that because the kid got up and he actually made more plays and no one got hurt and everything else. But have you seen a play like that? I mean, that was Chancellor-esque, I should say, the Super Bowl against Denver in the opening game. It makes you think of going across the middle.
Yeah, no, that was a shot. That was a big.
It was clean
shot.
play though.
It was, and we looked at that again to teach the kids the target zone and where to strike. We wanted to make sure, and yeah, it was a complete shoulder to the chest, and yeah, that one looked like it hurt. It hurt me, and I was just watching it.
I know, actually, that was Tim's line. That hurt to watch. It did. I mean, the stadium shook. 2nd and 17, 2:49 left here in the third quarter. Stitch stays on his feet for a little bit, but he's going to get maybe a loss of a yard. We'll see where they mark it.
Well, we were busy yapping, and the penalty was against Snohomish.
Yes.
I didn't even notice. So now they're in a tough spot now.
Maybe Steve knows what happens. You know, some have said we should probably pay attention to what's going on, but you know, Steve Willits will be our guy on the field today, our Edmonds Community College sideline reporter. We're on the wedge on vacation. I can't believe we gave him a week off. McDaniel didn't see it coming, and he's going to go down.
Boy, they had. Oh.
Who'd they have?
I don't know his number.
Merrick Corpening, number 7. He must have had some Wheaties at halftime. He has been hungry here in the second half. Tremendous play, and that's where you feel bad for the quarterback. Because he had no idea it was on his blind side. 4th and 22. Boy, you thought the Panthers just were rolling. They had some rhythm. They were rocking. And then the penalty, one loss. And here you go, 4th and 22 from the 39. They're going the wrong way.
Well, the same thing happened to Mariner on their previous
drive.
Smith,
the do-it-all kid for Mariner back as McDaniel punts it away, and he's going to fair catch it.
Nice catch. That's hard to do.
At the 16, 17-yard line. We'll step away. We'll take a timeout here. Steve Hannon, congratulations on a great year so far. Good luck tonight, and thanks for always your time.
No, it's great.
And we'll see you later at 8 o'clock.
Can't wait.
All right, we'll take a break. 21-7, Panthers, 124 left. All right. Smith now is going to go to the air, trying to get to his quarterback. They switch hats there, and we'll get back with Steve Willits.
So Smith to Walker.
Smith
Walker
to Walker,
Smith.
no. I'm just excited I actually caught it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, if he wins a 6
tonight, I'm getting warmed up. What time is it? Yep, 6:50. This is about my zone right here.
Yeah, right about there you're thinking, man, my mind is really going bananas now because I think the quarterback's going out for a pass.
Yeah.
But you were right that time.
Well, 1 out of 20 times
like
being
the,
right.
The
That's
tackle option here coming up in a second.
My percentage are good. Here's Darius gets the ball, and again, the Panthers Plunker leading the charge there. Plunker, excuse me.
Well, and why not keep with the theme, right? So one play you get the one of the running backs thrown to the quarterback, and then the very next play the other running back takes a direct snap. So why not?
They keep you guessing, the broadcasters and the crowd and everybody.
You know, the one group that they're trying to keep guessing is Snohomish, and they only gained 1 yard on both of those two plays combined. So they need to do a little more of that apparently.
A familiar 3rd and 9 for Mariner tonight. Ray DeStefano for Snohomish, 44 on in that tackle. Again, want to give him credit for a good play. Now Walker rolls to the far side, but he's got 2 Panthers chasing. He thinks better of it and just throws it away. Incomplete. Be 4th and 9 from their own 19-yard line.
Boy, and the way Snohomish ate up so much of that clock on that last drive. I mean, they didn't get the score, but they did probably take 6 or 7 minutes off.
Easy.
And then 3 plays later, with 2 of which were incompletes, you're giving them the ball right back. If you're Mariner, you're not looking at the scoreboard and the clock too much yet, but we're almost getting to that point.
Now, if you think this is going to go one-sided or not, I still, we got a quarter to go here. 34 seconds left in the third as Mariners going to punt. And, of course, the guy who makes the pregame meals, the bus, everything, Smith there to punt. Kind of a rugby style. This one's a good one. Pushes Johnston all the way back. He's going to let it bounce around the 41. That's a heck of a punt for Smith.
The guy who makes the pregame meals, what do you eat at for a 5 o'clock
I
game?
don't know.
Is that a lunch meal or is that like a in between? I don't know.
You see this a lot. I can't remember the team, but the kid who, you cover Mount Lake Terrace, obviously a lot of the state.
They seem to be the king of the 5 o'clock game this year for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's true. You cover a lot of Edmonds, but I mean, Mikey Jensen. I mean, is there anything he doesn't do?
Well, I mean, obviously, your best athlete more often than not, or a lot of times, I should say, is your quarterback.
Yeah.
And they tend to be the ones that you see kick, pass, punt contests when you're kids, right?
So, it's true, yes.
He who has the strongest arm often has the strongest leg.
That's true. Kobe McDaniel, who also does the punting, now looks left, now looks right, left. Then he goes over. It's incomplete, trying to go to Bride there. Yep.
And I like the fact that they did a little incidental contact on that play. That was one where number 34, it's Eric Nochvy, steps in to try to make a play. Both players trying to go for the same ball in the same space, and they run into each other, but really they both have that opportunity, so the referee's not calling it.
Another offensive set now. McDaniel drops it down to Stitch. Again, well played, but he's going to get close to a first down. We'll see where they mark him, right at the 50, just on the other side.
One of the coaches for Mariner, it's not Stewart, but one of the assistant coaches is livid right now, as he thought Stitch stepped on the white line at about the 48. He came running over right in the referee's face and is pointing vehemently at the line, saying, no, he stepped out here. The referee didn't see it that way, though, and we don't do instant replay, so the ball's at midfield.
Well, yeah, we do it here. They don't have the luxury. Yeah. But now a lot of the teams and coaches have the huddle, which you watch for. They all film for film work. Now they have iPads down on the field as we get a timeout. We'll talk about the huddle and the technology maybe later. Let's take a Fred's Riverton Ale House timeout. 21-7. We're going to start the fourth quarter right after this on STSPN. Start of the fourth quarter here, a little 5 o'clock start. An early edition of Friday Night Football on STSPN, 21-7. The Snohomish Panthers, boy, they have been on a good roll. They want to keep eating the same thing. If you're superstitious, you do what you're doing the last 4 games for the Snohomish Panthers.
And you do what you've been doing for the last 3 quarters, which is winning. They got out to the lead on, the third play of the game and haven't looked back yet. Rather uneventful third quarter, but if you're Snohomish, it went just the way you wanted it, really. I mean, you did the bend but don't break thing on defense. You picked off a pass at your own 15. You drove down the field. You didn't score, but you ate up a ton of the clock.
Yep.
And now you're 12 minutes away from pulling that number 3 seed out.
Again, we talked about who they'll face, which is going to be an overwhelming challenge, and anything can happen. Graham Kapowison, 8-0, number 4 in the state in the latest poll, but it's just such a big moment for this program. Again, we talked to Aaron Lammers from the Everett Herald at halftime for Kai Smalling coming in his 3rd year. I mean, they had 1 win the first year. That's making the playoffs is a big deal as Kobe McDaniel rolls to Umpqua Bank first down. Nice quarterback improv keep there.
And in a year like this where you pretty much know going into the season who's going to take that number 1 seed.
Yep.
We were not surprised that Lake Stevens is doing what they're doing. And then you kind of assume that, Monroe's right up there. You figure they're going to be 2 or 3, which it looks like they're going to get the 2. Kamiak's always going to be tough. I mean, it wasn't an easy go for Snohomish.
No, he fakes the handoff, goes to Bride, in and out. I don't think he caught it, and Bride wants a pass interference. He's not going to get it. And CJ Castile, he was there right on him. And 2nd and 10 here for Kobe McDaniel. We just started the fourth quarter. Again, just a reminder, STSPN will have that 8 o'clock Wesco Championship. Arlington Eagles come down here to Snohomish to face Glacier Peak. McDaniel rolling right. Has an open receiver, the throw, and it is caught. And yards after catch right there. And I'm trying to see, is that Johnston?
Yeah.
Of course. I almost want to just assume it was. before I saw him in my my binoculars.
He's not used to yards after the catch tonight. He's been making those diving 40-yard plays downfield. This time he actually catches a shorter pass, I say with quotations, as it was only about 15 yards downfield, but I make something happen afterwards.
And an Umpqua Bank first down, 11:34 left here in the fourth quarter. Now they hand the ball up to Stitch. Stitch spins out of a tackle, and he'll keep on going. Another first down inside the 10 to the 6 or 7. Oh, my.
That had everything you want from a running back. That had the spin move, and then it also at the end of the play had the have 3 guys jump on my back and watch me go 3 more yards downfield. Stitch is something else, and he's only a sophomore.
Fun having defensive coordinator for Glacier Peak, Steve Hannon, in the booth. Steve, interesting. I know, he's nervous. He's a powerful, powerful offense. As Stitch gets the ball again, drags a white jersey Marauder to about the 2 or 3 yard line as they are on the doorstep here, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and rightfully so a little bit to be nervous. I mean, again, I hate to say it, but Wesco 3A South, not the greatest year in the world for them.
Don't hate to say it. It's okay.
It's true.
It is what it is.
It is. I mean, really, Glacier Peak not challenged at all this year, and you hope that from that standpoint it doesn't come back and hurt them.
They give it to Stitch again. Does he get through? Boy, he's just trying very, very close. They get to inside the 1, yeah.
And case in point, Snohomish is a great example of that.
Yep.
They lost 4 games early, and I think it made them better. I mean,
you're right.
For having to play the Arlingtons and the Monroes and the Lake Stevenses, you might put up L's in the loss column, but when you get to the playoff scenarios and you get to this time of year, you're better for that. And Glacier Peak, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, a little bit easier schedule, and now we find out who they are and what they're made of. They're going against one of the big boys tonight.
Well, and 2 years ago in the summer when Glacier Peak head coach Roy Rosenbaugh is there thinking about what they want to do as Lipke comes in for Snohomish, big number 43 for Stitch here, as they are 3rd and goal at the half-yard line. That's why, he got criticized. Why are you scheduling a home-and-home with Bellevue? Are you nuts? And he said, you know what? I want to play the best.
Yeah. And I think it's helped them. I mean, even hearing some of the comments from Justin Guffey after the game, they think they're better for it.
And they keep Stitch, that's good. Stitch made it all the way down. That's a Panther touchdown, a McDaniels Do-It center touchdown, Keegan Stitch. And can sometimes not put a fork on it, but it's hard. That's a punctuation point.
Well, and especially the way Mariners had trouble. They've moved the ball at times tonight, but they've had trouble getting it into the end zone or even getting it into the red zone for that matter. You're now down by 3 possessions with 9:39 to go. Yeah, that's quite the mountain to climb right now. It's not to say that it can't happen. We saw something very similar happen last year when these two teams played, only the reverse of it. But, that might be the dagger right there.
The extra point, and it's blocked. 2 PATs are not successful here for Snohomish. Again, a great job. I don't know if that was on the snap or the hold or the kick. I think that was just great pursuit. Taylor DeVries, he's the kicker. And so 27-7 with 9:39 left to go in this game. Snohomish up big.
Well, Edmonds Community College offers smaller class sizes and more personal attention from faculty, so you get more focused attention on your learning and your education.
I think I could try a few things out here and realize what courses I'm good at or what I'm not good at and what I should major in.
Snohomish, DeVries will kick it off, and it'll bounce out of bounds on the 25-yard line. Again, happy for... We'll see how this one goes. Again, hopefully, you never know what's going to happen.
He's kind of mastered that kick to the left sideline tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, practice makes perfect.
If he's aiming for it, he's perfect so far.
Tim Boyle steps into the booth, getting ready. Tim will join myself and Steve on the call for the Arlington Glacier Peak game coming up. And 8 o'clock is the scheduled kickoff time.
And the way this game's going right now, we should be right on schedule. It's a fairly quick game tonight.
It is. Walker going to go down the field. Wide open. Nobody there for Brown. He is quick. We'll see if he can get caught up, and he will not. Touchdown. Boy, just like that. Darius Brown. McDaniels do it center touchdown for the Marauders. That's a shot in the arm.
Yeah, they made that look easy. And if you're Snohomish, that is exactly what you didn't want. You have a 3-possession lead with 9 minutes to go. If you're going to let them come down and score, make them earn it. Make them eat up some clock. Make them stay out there for 9 or 10 plays. First play from scrimmage after the kickoff, and you just let Darius Brown go right up the middle, wide open. By the time the defense realized what was happening, Brown was behind everybody. Easy little pass from Walker. Catches Brown in stride. Nothing but end zone.
And it also gives your defense a little momentum they need. Here's the extra point try, and it is good. So 27-14, 9:29. Mariner with two timeout. They burned one early in the second half here. 3 timeout. Do not go away. Presented by Gilpin Realty, STSPN.
Your American dream is out there, so go get it. Dreams don't come easy. They're gonna make you work for it. So put on your work boots, fire up your laptop, pour yourself a cup of coffee, because there's gonna be some late nights. American Family Insurance is your American dream insurance. We protect your home, your car, your business, and the most valuable thing you will ever own. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
American Family Insurance.
And the Snohomish Panther crowd here at Veterans Memorial Stadium all of a sudden kind of woke up as Stitch takes it, and he breaks another tackle. And now he just pile drives a Mariner Marauder, and Stitch is fired up, the sophomore, and he gets him up to the 38-yard line.
I think the Mariner touchdown woke everybody up there,
Yeah.
not only the fans, but Keegan Stitch is deciding that, you know what, I'm ready to – I want to win this ball game. I might need to get some of this back myself. 10 seconds went off the clock between those two scores, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Went from 9:39 to 9:29. And if you're Mariner, boy, if you can get a big stop here right now, you're right back in this game. And we were just talking with Tim Boyle off the air. When Snohomish missed that PAT 10 seconds earlier, I didn't think much of it. I thought, well, they're up by 20. It doesn't matter. Well, it might now.
Johnston in motion, and he will get the ball on the sweep to the far side. Good stiff on Smith. Umpqua Bank first down and more, and he gets into Mariner territory. And I'll tell you, Josh Johnston, he has just brought it tonight. Oh, but it's a coming back. There's a flag. Have you worked with Tim Boyle? See, before the flag is thrown, Tim Boyle, it's just a gift or a curse, depending how you look at it. He knows the flag is coming before it comes, and we'll see what it is.
And I'll use this as my defense. I don't know if I can use it every time, but I was like, where's the yellow flag at? And then I realized I've got a pole directly in front of me covering up the yellow flag. So I'm still going to give Tim a lot of credit, but I thought, wow, Tim has much better eyes than I do. But I have to try to look through a pole, I guess, and he doesn't.
It's we love that pole.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
It's
multiple poles, by the way. I guess we if there was an earthquake or something, we'd be happy that the poles are there. We wouldn't complain, right?
So now it's, boy, that's a big, big penalty for the Snohomish Panthers. I tell you what, had a big gain on the sweep there by Johnston. First and 11 now. They're still back at their own 37. The same motion. I was going to say they're going to do it again, but that time 21 takes the snap. And their own version of the Wildcat for Brandon Joddock.
Joddock's actually listed as a quarterback, so maybe bringing in the quarterback who's a little more run-oriented than McDaniel, and surprised us a little bit on that always popular 1st and 11 play, right?
Yeah. You see Plunker and Jada come off. 8:41 now in the fourth quarter. We kind of thought cruise control was happening for Panthers, and Darius Brown and Walker said not so fast. The huge, quick touchdown. Now 2nd and 7. Daniel looking over. He throws it. It's caught by Responte, but good defense there, but it's a nice gain up to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Bressler doing a nice job to stay home there. It was one of those plays where they were trying to run his receiver down the field further to free up a man, and Bressler saw the pass right away, and he stepped up, and it ended up making the tackle on the player that wasn't his.
So 3rd and 4, 7:54 left to go in this game, 27-14. Not saying critical here, but if you were a Snohomish Panther fan, you'd feel much easier if you can get a first down and tie up and chew up some clock.
And do you dare put the ball in the air here?
See what they do. Trips on the near side, single on the right, which has been common. Kobe's going to go to the air. He goes over to that single side. Too much, overthrows. And that's going for Johnston one more time. He's really good, but he's not that good.
Almost was, though. He made a nice diving effort. And interesting call. I can't say that I completely disagree with it. You're catching them off guard right there. You're on the short, or actually Johnston's lined up on the wide side of the field, far side. And for him to get one-on-one coverage with no safety over the top helping out, why not give him a chance to go up and make the play?
Well, here we go. In every game, there's those moments. 7:24 left. 4th down and 4 to go here from their own 44-yard line, unless he does a little kick, a little punt, and he is. It bounces down, takes a Panther roll inside the 10. They're going to pin him back here. Nice job.
50-yard kick.
Roth there to down it.
We'll mark on the 7, so 49-yard punt. And it took time off the clock. The clock continues to roll as the ball rolls with it.
7 minutes, 11 seconds here. Now we'll see what the play selection is for the Mariner Marauders. Yeah, you're going to hand the ball off to Darius, or you're just going to send him down the field?
Boy, at this point, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, with 7 minutes to go, you don't have to panic too much yet. You don't want to start getting to the point where you just want to huck the ball down the field and be 3 and out either, but you have to start watching that clock a little bit.
J.J. Walker goes to the air on 1st and 10. Incomplete. Trying to get over to number 23, Tyrone Jones. Again, Walker kind of an off and on night. He's got 2 INTs, but he's been, brilliant at times.
Yeah, no, he's done okay. I mean, again, he's put them in a position where they've been able to move the ball down the field a little bit. I think I give a lot of credit to Snohomish for what he hasn't been able to do.
Walker, this time they get it to Brown from the backfield, and he makes a nice gain. He'll get up to the 14-yard line, but still going to leave a couple yards to go for the first down here. 3rd and 3 at their own 19.
Question right now becomes, if you do not get the first down, do you want to punt it back or do you want to take a chance?
Tyler Keel on the near side. They fake like they're going to throw, and they give it to Brown, and he fights his way up. And the judge over on the far side, that's an Umpqua Bank first down, it looks like. Where he's positioned.
They're moving him. They're moving the chains, it looks like.
The near side guy is holding 4th. I'm confused here.
Oh, they're finally moving the chains.
It is, yeah. The far side line, that far side official, there was no doubt where he was lined up, Steve. It was a first down. That's an Umpqua Bank first down. Big first down for Mariner. Give some breathing room. Rolling to his left, going to throw right. J.J. Walker now tucks it, spins out of a tackle, and he'll gain 6 or 7. A nice first down play for Mariner with 6:08 left to go in the game.
Yeah, always interesting to see how quarterbacks run the ball when they know that it's crunch time and they've got nothing to lose, rather than just very casually go out of bounds. He's fighting for every yard right now. He knows it's game time.
2nd and 2. Walker going to go back to the air, flips it up, and gets it to Smith. Nicely caught. Bounces off a tackler, but there's a flag in the backfield, and could be a holding. We'll see.
Yeah, right in the vicinity where you normally get holding plays, and right where you have number 77 for Snohomish.
Which, again, he's our mystery player.
The mystery guy, the unknown. And it looks like it is, in fact, holding.
So Mariner executes very nicely. You couldn't do it any better like that. And Walker put it right in between where he had to. Smith with a nice catch, and all for naught.
You might have to do the whole thing all over again and maybe send Smith on a deeper route now because you've got more yards to pick up.
5:47 left to go in our first game of 2. Stay tuned. Tonight it's Championship Friday night here on STSPN. The high-flying Eagles come in for one of the best defenses in Wesco for sure. Glacier Peak Grizzlies. It's going to be an interesting match tonight.
Maybe the best defense. So it should be a fun one. I think everybody should be tuning in for that.
But we got business to take care of here. 27-14, 5:47, 2nd and 16 after the penalty. Walker, he's going to go down. He's got a wide open, not wide open. The catch is made. Keel on his horse to the 30, 20. Oh, my.
What a great play by Keel. That was not Keel, but
that's not Keel. My bad. Tyrene Jones. Check that, 23.
Roth had a shot at potentially his 3rd interception of the night. He got his hand in there. I think he and Jones both touching that ball as it flew right into Jones's hands. Great catch by him, and then after the play to have the foresight to keep his momentum going down the field and to run away from a few extra defenders and pick up just a whole ton of yards there.
Not great play-by-play by me. I said he was wide open. I was looking at the turf he had to run if he caught it, and said it was decent coverage right there. He had a step on the defender, but
wide open space.
Yep. So big gain. 1st and 10. All of a sudden they tilted the field, and here's Brown. He has a seam. Darius Brown inside the 10 to the 7, and now if you're Snohomish with 5:29 left, things are getting tight.
Yeah, far from over right now. Again, 9 minutes and 29 seconds to go, or 9:39 to go, I guess it was. They went up by 3 touchdowns. 4 minutes later, they have a chance to cut this down to a one-possession game. I mean, that's how quick it happens.
There's a snap. They're going to go to Brown again. He just puts his head down, and this time the Panthers are there, and who else but Mr. Plunker. Peyton Plunker, the senior, 6'1", 205. Heck of a game, heck of a season. Clock is ticking. 2 timeouts for Mariner left here in this game. Walker. He's going to go over. Trying to go to Jones. Incomplete. Going to bring up 3rd and goal.
They had the right idea. Jones was open initially there. He really did a nice job of faking out Roth. Ran the out pattern, and for a brief moment he was open. Just Walker trying to throw Wall on the run. Couldn't quite get it to him. And give Roth a lot of credit, too, though. He reacted fairly quickly once he knew that the cut was being made, and he was right on Jones.
Interesting play call here. 3rd and goal, 4:56 left to go in the game.
This is 4-down territory at this point in the game. You know they've got 2 shots at it.
No doubt. And again, Darius going to get into the Wildcat. Lead blocker. Tries to find him, but Panthers are there. They stop him short of the goal line. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 2.
Another interesting play. They hiked it right to Brown directly, used the quarterback, Walker, as the lead blocker. Walker not able to pick anybody up on that play, as I was waiting to see if he was going to hit a linebacker, to no fault of his, but certainly set up an interesting scenario. And if you're Mariner, this is kind of what you wanted. I mean, you'd rather go from the 2 than the 5. You're a running team. You want to make sure that you're giving your running game a chance to score here.
Timeout on the field. Mariner chooses to take another one. We'll take a Fred's Rivertown Ale House timeout. Do not go away. STSPN. 4th and goal from the 2. Shotgun, clean snap, rolling left, got 2 Panthers. Walker has to get ready, just throws it up, and it's knocked down. Incomplete, going for Jones. Heady play there by the Snohomish defender. Is that legal, though, or is that like the Detroit-Seattle game?
I was trying to figure out who made the bat. It's on the far side of the field. I don't know if you saw it through the binoculars, but
maybe.
Somebody made a great play on that. As it looked as though they initially were thinking about trying to go for the pick, but on 4th down, all you have to do is swat it out of the air, and that's exactly what they did. Just batted it as far as they could out of the back of the end zone. Ball falls to the turf, and it's a turnover on downs for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, we don't. That could have been number 6, Chris Beckel. But a big, big play. Boy, it takes a lot of wind out of the sails for the Mariner Marauders.
It does, but the one nice thing that Mariner has on their side right now is they've got Snohomish pinned right up against the goal line. I mean, we are, a botched snap or something along those lines away from this being a turnover or a safety, and then you get the ball right back. But you really need to hold them down in that hole if you can, and they don't.
Boy, and there's a flag at the end of the play as Lipke gets the handoff.
Judging by the reaction of one of the Mariner players, it might be a personal foul, and that might be against the Marauders.
Now that big offensive line, again, that Snohomish has traditionally had over the years. And we're trying to get the call down.
Walking backwards.
That's exactly what you want to happen. 1st and 10, pin back. You want a nice little up-the-gut play for 8-9 yards. As Lipke got the carry, but we'll see, again, a lot of discussion by the White Hat.
I think that's unfortunate for, it looks like it may, in fact, go against Snohomish as the Marauder players are clapping as they're talking to the ref. The one thing that's working against the Marauders right now, too, is not only did you not convert that touchdown on 4th down, you took a timeout to discuss the play.
Yeah.
With 1 timeout right now, you're down by 2 scores, 4:19 to go. Every time Snohomish takes a snap, they're able to run 30 to 45 seconds off the clock.
And the official coming over to explain the call to head coach Kai Smalley is not sure what the call was. It was a late flag. Nonetheless, down over 1st and 10 from their own 2, and they'll do it again. Daniel taking his time now.
Yeah, the clock's running, so why snap it if you don't have to? Let that clock just tick away as long as you can.
Getting under 4 minutes now. McDaniel finally now gets under center. Handed off to Stitch, and not much there. Maybe gets a yard.
Mariner electing to not use that final timeout yet. I would imagine they're going to want to do so at some point in this drive.
Now you're just playing to milk the clock, as you see Johnson, who's had a amazing game tonight, and many this last few games and all season long, as they kind of get up ready to snap it. McDaniel stands there again, wisely taking time off the clock. 3:19 left to go now in this 4A last game of the season here, and dive play on the right side again, 1 or 2. But now they'll stop the clock. And it looks like that they did take the final timeout. 3:03 left to go in this one. We will have our Adrenaline Fundraiser player of the game, and Steve Willits will go down there and talk to them. And who you thinking? Let's take a Adrenaline Fundraiser break right now. We'll be back, and we'll discuss that while we're away.
Sounds good.
All right, 3:03 left in the first of 2 tonight. Snohomish Mariner here on STSPN. Scott Oshman, Steve Willits, Todd Elvig, the 5-tool player.
Scott, you and I were having a very interesting conversation just a moment ago. There's not a real clear-cut player of the game tonight. We've got a few guys that are making strong cases for that award, and you've got offensive guys, you've got defensive guys. It could go to a number of different people right now.
Should we call Ron the Wedge Henthorn, see if he can chime in from Arizona as Stitch gets it? And he's, again, another one you could throw in the hat. He's had a heck of a game.
And Ron's probably somewhere where he's enjoying 75-degree weather.
He is. He's in Arizona.
I don't think he cares right now, and I don't blame him one bit. Ron, I would do the same thing if I were down there.
Yeah, because if you look, I mean, Responte had the 42-yard touchdown. Again, Johnston with the,
A huge catch early on. But on defense, you've got Roth with 2 interceptions. Plucker seems to be in on every tackle. I mean, he's just been all over the place. Your mystery lineman's all
77. Why don't we give him to him?
We might just get down there and find out he's got like a full beard and maybe it's bye week in the NFL for a team and he's getting some workout tonight. He looks like a monster out there.
Well, it's timeout on the field. 2:17 left. 4th and 5 for Snohomish. We'll take a Fred's Rivertown Ale House timeout and we'll make a decision right after this on STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds.
We're back as Steve Willett's going to head down to the field to get our Adrenaline Fundraiser Play of the Game. And Kobe McDaniel, who does the punting duties for Snohomish, as Tim Boyle puts on the headset and the mic. And they're not going to go after him even. And Kobe gets a high punt, and it's fair caught at the 32-yard line with 2 minutes, 11 seconds left. No timeouts left for Mariner. Tim Boyle, how are you?
Doing great, Scott. How are you?
Did you get a nap in? This is a late night.
No naps tonight. Great job on the broadcast tonight. I was listening from home.
Were you?
Oh, yeah, it sounded great. But back to business here. 32-yard on the 32-yard line. They can actually score pretty quick from there.
They did. They had
great field position.
They had a quick score. As you saw, Darius Brown again. Now J.J. Walker, the quarterback, number 9, rolls left, goes over. It's caught by Jones for an Umpqua Bank first down, and it'll be tackled. That'll stop the clock right at the 19-yard line with 2:04 left to go.
Perfect play there. Get the first down, stop the clock. They're gonna need first downs or be out of bounds.
Again, stay tuned. Our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game down there as Walker goes back again. He goes to the air. This time it's intercepted, and I think he stayed in bounds. And, of course, who else? Ty Roth. Do we change our decision we just made?
Ooh.
Oh, now we're going to do a radio show, and I'm going to tell you what's happening in the booth because there's head shaking by our executive producer, 5-tool player. Ty Roth has 3 interceptions. Tim, you want to chime in?
You got to give it to him. Well, he just won the game for him.
He did.
Right
he
there.
Sealed the deal.
He did. He closed the door.
He's a junior. And again, Snohomish going to make the look for the. They're going to get to the playoffs, Tim, for the first time since 2011. This is the first time Kai Smalley in 3 years he took them from winning 1 game in a year to the playoffs.
Yeah, this time it's a more well-deserved run. They kind of got back their way in last time a few years ago, and they deserve to be there. We'll have to figure out who they're playing.
Well, I know who they play. They win this game. They will play Graham Kapowson again. It's not an easy task. Again, they're 8-0. They're ranked number 4 in the state, and so it doesn't matter. It gives these guys some confidence. It's a great accomplishment for the program that he's been rebuilding.
Always great to get to the postseason.
extra practices. They hand it off again over the right side, and he makes a pile move with 1:03. Again, Mariner, no timeouts left. That's an Umpqua Bank first down for the Panthers.
And Scott, they're going to run about, I think they're going to get in about 1, possibly 2 plays is all that they probably can just take a knee here is really all they need to do.
So Mark Stewart, again, he had just a tremendous success over at Meadowdale. He left Wesco, went down to the Metro for a year or so, came back up. He was assistant last year with Mariner, I believe, and he's a tremendous guy, and he's a tremendous coach, and he's got Mariner, going the right direction, so nothing to hang their heads. Again, they make the playoffs either way. They get Gig Harbor, which again is a juggernaut, number 3 in the state.
So you got Snohomish playing number 4 and Mariner playing number 3.
Yeah. Unless for some reason, I don't know, the bus breaks down and Monroe gets beat by Mount Vernon, which is
I don't see it.
Extremely unlikely.
That's going to do it.
That's going to do it. 27-17, the Snohomish Panthers here at home. They reversed the heartbreaking loss last year by 1 point as they went for 2 and fumbled the snap. And Kai Smalley gets revenge tonight, but a well-played game. 27-14, Snohomish wins, and we're going to go down. And our player of the game, our Adrenaline Fundraising player of the game, is Ty Roth with 3 interceptions. That last one, the nail in the coffin there, sealed the deal as Steve Willett's going down trying to find Ty Roth, number 13, real quickly. As we get ready, after the interview, we will probably shut down the stream for a little bit and we'll come back. And they should start this one on time, an 8 p.m. kickoff, and it's Championship Wesco, and that could be an absolute doozy. Arlington Eagles, boy, they can put some points on the board, and they just pass and pass and pass, wide open offense. Mirrors a little bit, somewhat, Glacier Peak of yesteryear, but more balanced attack this year for Glacier Peak. And in Arlington, as Tim Boyle, as we wait for Steve Willits, you look at the numbers. I mean, they have Devin Nutter. They have a decent running game, does Arlington, but they just throw the ball like crazy, and they got a great quarterback, Kalahar.
It's high-powered, and it's going to be a challenge for the GP defense, as far as the physical conditioning is going to come into factor tonight.
And they are fast, boy.
Yep, they're going to have to be. They're going to be doing a lot of chasing. However, GP's got that high-powered defense to match that high-powered offense.
Yes, and that's what's going to be really interesting. So, as you always say, something's got to give.
Who's going to impose their will?
Yep. So KRKO gets to him first. The wedge has to work with Willits on how to get in there first, Tim.
Well, let's get the wedge on the phone. Get a couple pointers.
Hey, congratulations to Kai Small, the entire coaching staff, the program, the players, the families. Snohomish Panthers going to the playoffs, and we're going to go down to Steve Willits with our Adrenaline Fundraiser player of the game, Ty Roth, the junior, 3 interceptions.
You're seeing him right on the screen there.
And he's getting a picture first. But Steve, you have to do a lot. We have to wear a lot of hats here at STSPN.
All right, guys, I am with our STSPN Adrenaline Fundraising player of the game, Ty Roth. 3 interceptions tonight. Have you ever had 3 interceptions in any kind of a football game?
No, sir.
First one. Let's get you over here so we're a little bit further away from the coach so we can hear you better. Your first interception of the night, second play of the game. Walk us through that play, and did you think you were going to score the touchdown? You got down to the 1-yard line.
I thought I was going to score the touchdown. I just didn't run hard enough, I guess. So next time.
Now, did you know the ball was coming towards you on that play? What were you anticipating as the play developed?
I was just doing my job. Coach told me to.
late in the game, you've got your third interception. Take us through that play. You kind of know at that point the Mariners getting a little bit desperate. They might need to start throwing the ball a little bit. Did you think you kind of knew what they were going to do, or?
We thought it was going to be a pass, so that's what we played, and we just played hard.
This is a Mariner team that had been putting up quite a few points this year. You held them to 14 tonight. What kind of preparation did you guys do during the week to get ready for this team? Darius Brown, who's had a huge year, you guys held him in check all night.
Yeah, our defense played really hard, and our seniors played really hard, so and we were prepared.
And are you guys ready for the playoffs? Something that's new to you guys. You're getting your playoff game next week. Do you know much about Graham Kapowsin yet, or are you okay not knowing? You're just happy you made the playoffs.
We'll definitely be studying and getting ready for the playoffs. Thank you.
Okay, so Ty, once again, 3 interceptions tonight. Great job. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Hey, you're right. He does everything. He's actually bringing us some Cracker Jacks and a slushie on the way up. Pepperoni on that too.
Hey, I need a coffee. I need a coffee. All right, 27-14. That's the win. Snohomish going on. Mariner, again, they go on as well to the playoffs. For Steve Willits, we're going to go down and get Kai Smalley real quick with Steve Willits.
Guys, we've got Kai Smalley here with us. First of all, Coach, congratulations. You're going to the playoffs. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome, and it's been the goal of this team since last November, and they did it. They came back, and especially to be able to come out and beat Mariner tonight. That's a tough team. They've been playing tough all year. They've done an amazing job of Coach Stewart's done an amazing job there, and their players came out and battled. And it's just exciting to be where we're at.
It's a Mariner offense that's been putting up a lot of points all year. You held them to 14 points tonight. Was there anything you saw when you were watching footage, a video of them, that you kind of knew that you might want to try to exploit tonight or work on? What was it that held them to 14 points?
Well, our goal was just to stop number 26, and he lines up as technically as a running back, but the dude takes 50% of their snaps, and it was important for us to be able to key on their formations, and because they come out and just do what they do, and I respect that about them because they run their offense and they're not going to get away from it. But they also, when they needed to, they got the pass off on us too, and that's something we got to make sure that we can't get too committed to one thing.
Yeah, you started off the season 0-4. I'm sure at the time there was maybe a little bit of a skeptical folks in the crowd starting to wonder if maybe this wasn't going to be Snohomish having another 1 or 2 win season. You reeled off 5 wins in a row. I mean, what were you telling the kids during that winning streak, and what have you done to kind of keep them motivated and their heads up?
Well, we just kind of kept it the same. Every week is the biggest game of your life that week, and that's been. I've told the kids that every single week, day in and day out, and they've taken it to heart. And again, we had the injury bug at the beginning of the season, and we were able to make sure that the guys that stepped in their place filled in their spots well, and it's all come down to the kids. The kids weren't going to give up. They were going to get it done.
Now, there's a team down in the south end by the name of Graham Kapowsin that you might be hearing a little bit about here shortly. I think it sounds like it's going to be your opponent next week. What do you know about them, or does it even matter right now?
Doesn't matter right now. I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm going to go watch GP in it now. So
we'll enjoy it, Coach. Hey, congratulations again, not only on the season, but on this big victory tonight.
All right, thank you so much.
Take care. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Steve. And nobody probably going to give him bigger congratulations than head coach of Glacier Peak, his longtime friend, Laura Rosenbaugh. And congratulations to Kai Smalley and the Panthers. For everybody here, we're going to shut it down here for a minute, and we'll reload here, get the crew back for Glacier Peak, Arlington. I'm telling you, set your dial, don't go anywhere. Little pregame, 8 p.m. It's championship Wesco football, presented by Gilpin Realty. Nowhere else but on the Snohomish Times Sports Center. We'll see you at 8 o'clock.